Yes, Sunday football continues on footy's home ground, and thank you for joining us as round 21 also continues. It brings us to the MCG. And it should be a beauty too. Traditional rivals Carlton and Collingwood. Good afternoon everyone and welcome. An overcast day here in Melbourne, a cool day, but a very, very pleasant one for football. They've had some great rivalry over the years, but interestingly enough, Carlton and Collingwood now haven't met in the finals for, well, more than a decade.
Rolling towards the boundary line and Harms almost makes ground. He takes it back to Sheldon and it's a goal!
Can he kick this one to make it a draw? Look at all those Collingwood players. He fires.
He's got it, I think.
He's missed it.
What a goal!
Collingwood won the game.
What a finish!
On to Bradley. One bounce, two, three, 4. 40 metres out. Set sail for goal. Tried and went on for goal of the day.
Some wonderful highlights of these two sides and their clashes in days gone by, and I'm quite sure that today will be no exception. The Collingwood Magpies up against the Carlton Blues. Tony Shaw, testing times for him too, as he awaits to hear if he's going to be still at the helm of the Collingwood Football Club next year. In the meantime, he's down on the boundary line with Russell Morris.
Here we have the Collingwood team coming out, led by Nathan Buckley and also Graham Wright, playing his 200th game for Collingwood. Sensational conditions here at the MCG. Beautiful conditions. Nathan Buckley missing about 3 weeks due to a hamstring strain, but maybe still one of the Brownlow favourites. We're now starting waiting to talk to Tony Shaw. Here we've got Tony now. Now, Tone, what is the most special thing about Collingwood-Carlton clashes?
Probably just big crowds, I think. The situation both sides are at this year, it's a pretty big game for both sides to just get over the top of them.
Good for the young kids as well, isn't it? Like, good experience.
Oh yeah, look, playing in front of this many people and against the old foe, the tradition. That's what we had on the tape just before. Tradition's everything, and it's pretty important that we get across the line because it just makes them 2 in a row for us.
What are your first quarter objectives? Win the first quarter.
Win the first quarter.
Doesn't matter if it's
they're going to be hard. You set the scene early whether they're going to be harder than us. You can get back in the game, but if you start like that, I think it doesn't set the scene, and we want to be harder than them.
Some bad news. Scotty Russell woke up with a crook back this morning, but also Michael Gardner's first game.
Yeah, look, I think that's our 11th first game for the club this year. So Michael's a good run. You'll see some athletic ability out there today with the kid.
What sort of player is he, mate?
6'4", 5. He can jump over the top of the grandstand. He's only a basketball, only played footy for a couple of years, but if he goes for his marks, you might see some special stuff out there.
Let's hope that. Well done. Thanks, Tony.
Yes, watch out for him. He's a young boy who came over from the West after playing for Subiaco, and he gets his chance for his first senior game with Collingwood today. We wish him well. In just a moment, Drew Morfitt and Lee Matthews back to check out these two sides.
The 1998
of 20 games, they're separated by percentage, but one wants to finish ahead of the other.
Well, no doubt about that. And certainly Carlton the last month or two have been in pretty good form, really. They've knocked off a couple of the premiership aspirants, so they're in good form. Collingwood, I guess, have struggled a little bit the last few weeks, but no matter where they are on the ladder, Collingwood-Carlton games are always big, always special. And Graham Wright announced his retirement, plays his 200th game today. Had a magnificent career, really, given that he's suffered from illness, that Guillain-Barré disease, very debilitating a few years back. Knee reconstruction, great to see him get his 200 up. And the Collingwood team, I guess you look at that full forward position, Sav Rocker, that might mean that Silvani will actually play defence today. I don't think Buckley will actually play centre-half forward. He needs to get the ball in the midfield. Scott Burns in there is an interesting player, and Patterson, I think, may tag Bradley. There's Chris Massey, drafted 7, very highly rated he was in the draft last year. This is his 8th game. I reckon he's got a bit of a Stephen Silvani about him. Just maybe the bow legs is the whether Silvani comes. But
Well, there's
Carlton
Silvani
really-
at full back, and last
Yeah.
week he kicked 5 goals at full forward.
It could be anywhere, but I think Kudafidis has settled in well at centre-half back. They'll try and persevere with that. But that midfield, Allen, Ratton, Brown and Bradley, they've been fantastic. And Sav Rocker, well, you'd think he'd have to kick a few goals for Collingwood to win.
Well, they're beautiful conditions for a great game of football. Big crowd at the MCG, and we'll be back for Carlton Collingwood after a short break.
Just come on in, 'cause we've got it all.
A crowd of between 50 and 60,000 fans here for this big clash between Carlton and Collingwood, and also on the boundary line again, Russell Morris. Fly.
Yeah, yes, Sandy, look, I'm in a bit of a dilemma. I don't know which team I hate the most, Carlton or Collingwood. But seriously, look, as Tony Shaw mentioned, the big crowd's fantastic. It's funny, another of these sides can make the final 8, but it doesn't detract from the atmosphere of a big Carlton-Collingwood clash. Looking forward to a sensational game. Have a great call, Sandy. Looking forward to talking to you later.
Thank you, Fly.
Sound like a bit like Bobby Davis. I'm losing breath.
Pumped up on the boundary line, that's for sure.
Oh, look out.
Oh, no, it's great to see a crowd like this on a Sunday afternoon in Melbourne. There's Kudafidis looking for a big game.
Sav's going to start in the middle.
Interesting.
So Rocker will ruck at the start of the game for the Pies.
And starting at full forward is Silvani. Mal Michael's got him at the other end of the ground. Graham Wright fittingly winning the toss for Collingwood.
I wonder whether Silvani would have started full forward if Rocker had started up the other end, Sandy. Interesting, you know, whether it's just one of those things, they see Rocker's in the ruck, we put Silvani up full forward.
Tony Francis starting on the bench. So too young Gardner, who gets his chance because Scotty Russell, who woke up this morning with a crook back. So here we go. Round 21 continues here at the MCG. The great rivals, Collingwood and Carlton. Allen, who's done well in the ruck for Carlton in recent weeks, tries to win it out of the centre. As you can see, Rocker in the middle there. Buckley too, so too is Brown. But this is Ronnie Diulio. Carlton through Beaumont, hoping to get away. Back to Diulio once again. A worm burner down towards right half forward. Hand pass goes astray. Collingwood can turn it over to Schäuble. He's been busy with a weight program throughout this season, and it's starting to pay dividends. To Richardson. He takes the mark 60 metres out. In front of Michael Sexton. Richardson passes in towards half forward. Osborne was the target. Not going to find him on this occasion. Manton gives it away. Carlton defence combining well together. Sexton gets another chance. Comes to the outer side. High and wide. Allen is there. The big man's on his own, but he gets caught and he's going to lose it. Brown's on his hammer. Now the Collingwood skipper has ripped off the ball. He hasn't got it, and he'll get the free kick.
Oh, how good was that by Gavin Brown?
I thought Allen looked in slow motion myself. There's a different speed and desperation between Brown and Allen, and really, but it was terrific desperation by Brown. Turned the ball over.
Here's Sav Rocker in the middle of the ground. Kick towards full forward. Richardson at the back. Comes back to Beaumont. Rice clears for the Blues towards the southern stand side. Outside 50. Murphy goes up. Punch by Marnie. Comes to the front to Burns. Gives the hand pass away to Watson. Watson shot for goal. Just won't make it. Osborne climbs. Keeps it in play. Well done, Aussie, who announced his retirement during the week. This will be his second last game. McKay gets the hand pass away at Collingwood, putting pressure on the forward line.
Good signs for Collingwood, isn't it? The desperation of Brown there against Allen, that desperation for Osborne when really it's the player who goes in lowest, really, and that's the player who appears the most desperate. In this first couple of minutes, those players have been in the black and white jumpers.
Scoring chance for Collingwood, but Bradley roves it for the Blues. His kick up to the cricket pitch area. Ball's knocked over the top. Allen shrugs off a would-be tackler. Through wide it goes to Murphy. One out. Silvani. Michael did well to get the ball over the line in the pocket.
I haven't seen the Blues in their new look socks, but they look very smart with the white hoop. As we've said, really a perfect day for football in Melbourne this afternoon.
Not a bad winter's day.
Sensational, isn't it?
Not a bad crowd for 12th and 13th on the ladder.
So a throw in. Carlton have it deep in their attacking zone. They'll be looking for big things from Whitnell today. Here's Camporelli round the body in towards Silvani. And again, Michael does well to defend, but seating him behind.
Well, Michael had a run up forward a little earlier in the season. So certainly both Silvani and Michael have played a little bit at both ends, and I think we see Michael's just got a terrific ability just to wind his hand in to affect the spoil. It's a skill that Stephen Silvani has possessed defensively for many, many years. So that'll be a good contest.
Now, a lot of people have come here today just to watch this man kick this ball back into play. Normally he's dead, I think, but this time he's gone to Lance Whitnell.
Yes, you kick the ball long down the middle and the opposition get it, well, they bounce back, but see whether Carlton can make anything of it.
Beaumont takes it from Whitnell and it's long again in towards the full forward. Gotten on the last line of defence, gets the hand pass away. Collingwood not out of trouble yet, but the tape hand pass was okay. Back towards the half-back line. Watson couldn't hold it. Murphy on his hammer, and there'll be a throw-in.
Some big matchups in the midfield just to check them. Patterson is actually picking up Brown. Buckley and Ratton seem to be matched up at this point, and Graham Wright has been given the job on Bradley. That is a testament to the running power of Graham Wright, because Bradley runs better than almost anybody.
Brown's kick partly smothered. Camporelli again. Beaumont has been busy early. Goes in towards goal and over the top. Needs a cone, bounce and gets it. First goal of the Blues.
Collingwood attacked for the first couple of minutes, didn't get a score. The Blues have been down twice for 1-1. Goes Carlton's way in the middle again until Buckley hand passes wide. Murphy hits the ball hard. Brown had 42 touches last week against the Saints. Kick short of the 50. Shawbull drops the mark. He hauled the ball in. He might have been lucky. Lardy there in the head.
You mentioned Fraser Brown. He's just been in terrific form the last couple of months. In fact, he's had over 30 possessions the last 5 games. So all of a sudden, he's become a very prolific midfielder. He and Ratton and Bradley, that group has really launched Carlton into being a pretty good team in recent weeks.
Scott Crowe getting some work on the hammies. Starting the game on the interchange bench. Buckley clears from half-back flank for the Pies. Clash of players. King hit that pack hard. Comes to Murphy. A high ball to the forward pocket. Whitnell camp in the middle of the pack. Buckley in the thick of things. Shawbull goes wide. Krasiska. Gavin Krasiska down the southern stand wing. King beaten for height. And the punch from behind. Straight out of bounds. King came from Sydney Swans.
I was going to say, there's Anthony Franchino. He wasn't only playing Nicky Winmar tight, he plays everybody tight. Of course, he was involved very much with Winmar saga last Sunday at this MCG.
Josh Marnie's also been in the hands of the trainers, but appears to be okay. Murphy, Ratton, clever tap on Camporelli, has been busy. They go forward again, down towards Whitnell. Got the call out the back for the hand pass, but it goes straight to Shawbull. He finds Graham Wright. And we welcome John Russo, the 4th umpire to our telecast. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Sandy. Perfect day for footy.
Koutafidis gives it back again. Yes, it is. It's a wonderful day. Bradley now, a chance to pick it up. Had Sexton going wide, but goes more direct. Godden in trouble. Gives it away. Shawbull, a short kick towards Osborne. Needs Graham Wright running for him. And has him too as he goes up towards Richardson. Down on that half forward. Richo has a look forward. Goes long, in towards half forward. Big grab is not taken. Rice tidies up at the back. Heads it towards Murphy. A wobbly old punt kick. Got Ratton going past in the middle. Spears it perfectly to Allen. And Carlton can mount something from the centre. He goes towards Silvani. Michael's at the back of him. He'll tap towards the line, Michael. Cleverly got boot to ball. Gained probably 15 or 16 metres. Carlton will keep it in play, however, through White. A young man with a lot of promise is Adam White. Locked up as Ronnie DiIulio tries to escape. A little too late. There'll be another bounce.
And a very good boy is Mal Michael playing on Silvani today. Boy from Papua New Guinea. Chance here for the Blues. White got very high. Camporelli under the pack. He's not getting it out. He's holding it, says the umpire. Free kick to Collingwood. Didn't disguise that too well.
Now, once he elects to dive on the ball or drag it in, and he has certainly dived on the ball, tackled legally, doesn't immediately hit it out, free kick.
Nathan Buckley roaming far and wide. He has it. In between the back pocket and half-back flank for the Pies, who haven't scored yet.
Drew, there's just no mobility. Buckley's waiting for some leads. There's no mobility up at the Collingwood forward line. They're now waiting for Gavin Brown.
Up at centre wing, Allen in front of Brown, and he's paid the mark. Players from both teams wearing the blue armbands today in respect of the 2 Victorian Police Force officers who died in the line of duty. All clubs have worn the armbands this round. There's Michael spoiling Silvani. It comes to Marnie. See that Ryan back there. Floated hand past Krasiska. Watson. Back he goes to Jamie Tate. Off to Josh Marnie. To Clinton King at half forward. King beats Franchina this time. Then Franchina comes back. You don't get a moment's rest with him. The hand pass through. Burns approaches 50. Steers it low. Spoil at the back by Rice. It comes to McKay. And Rice gets it back from him.
Dean Rice steadies. Kicks back towards centre wing, but straight to Marnie. Okay, after copying one early on. Collingwood struggling to score as Brown intercepts another attack. Cuts it back towards the half-forward line. This looks promising for Carlton once again because they've got Murphy running down towards Silvani in the pocket. He's going to have to turn on a threatening bit. Mel Michaels right on his hammer. He's given away the free kick.
Yes, he probably didn't need to have that much pressure on his back, John.
No, that's right, Lee. It was a little bit obvious. So here it is here. Mel Michaels certainly pushes Sauce in the middle of the back and then tries to turn back on the ball, but free kick had been given.
Well, 5 last week from the fullback of the century, and this time he tries to bend it back as Koutafidis was there. Buckley on the last line of defence keeps it in play and comes away. Swings that foot out wide to get the extra distance. It's taken by Rattenhaber, who gets a kind bounce, spearing it into half forward once again. Clean bowls everyone except McDonald. He gives it away. Tate comes across the ground, and it's back with whom it started with. That's Nathan Buckley. Again, not a lot on offer as he looks down the ground. Could go short to Graham Wright. Finds him at half back.
Buckley already with 6 possessions, but getting them mostly in defence.
Already when Collingwood players look up from half back, they don't seem to be able to get any flow off that line. They're really having to kick over the man on the mark too often.
Allen couldn't quite take the mark. White, front of the pack. Manton. Walks around King. Fires off the hand pass. Franchina to the 50. Hamill at full stretch. Couldn't take the mark. Recovers. Into Camporelli. In front 50 metres out. Silvani. Ball gets behind. Shawball's there.
Held without the footy.
Yes,
no
against Whitnell.
Lance Whitnell actually grabbed him by the left arm and dragged him away from the ball while the ball was basically sitting on the ground in front of him. So a clear free kick. Here we see it. Dragged away from the footy. So free kick for holding man to Andrew Shawball.
I'm tipping that Sos Silvani will do very well to kick 5 goals today on Michael.
Yes, he's actually a very good defender, is Michael, and certainly in his first few contests he's certainly held his own.
Brown, almost a fingertipper. Fraser Brown, centering. Silvani dives and he's got it, 40 metres out.
Yes, those quick, that kick out of the Collingwood defence really was very poor, wasn't it? Didn't set up advantage the Magpies at all, and on the rebound back, that's when defenders get caught away from their opponents as they get ready to attack.
Stephen Silvani back at the scene where 3 weeks ago he kicked a shocker out of defence in the last minute against Essendon, cost them the game. Here he is going for his first goal, sprays it right. Michael breathes a sigh of relief. 1-2, Collingwood yet to score.
And I think as the matchups have settled down in this first 10 minutes, that Anthony Koutafidis has in fact come out off half back to pick up Buckley around the middle of the field. So he's done that early on in the career, Koutafidis v Buckley.
I don't think Gavin Krasiska would have been pleased with that kick in. Graham Wright may help him get out of it. He went straight to Murphy. Here's Watson. He gets the hand pass away back to Krasiska, who tumbles it down towards centre wing. King came dashing out. He's been busy early on, off towards Severio Rocker. Rocker has a look down towards half forward. There appeared to be a nudge there, and a not so subtle one from Gavin Brown. What a player he's been for Collingwood. Andrew McKay. Kicks back towards centre wing. Koutafidis gives it away to Murphy. They start to run now. Bradley round the outer flank, and he's done that so many times in his career. Up towards half forward. No mark taken. Whitnell comes away. Lance Whitnell snaps towards goal. Pulls it too far to the left. And puts through another behind.
Sandy, just a quick one. It just seems across the half-forward line for Collingwood that they're standing behind their opponents. Maybe they're overestimating the length of the kicks, because it is a very swirly breeze. It's very difficult to judge. High above the scoreboard, the wind is going from right to left, but as we know at the MCG, very swirly and very difficult to handle.
Well, at least it's not the shocking, ripping wind that we had in Melbourne yesterday. It's played a large part in the game at Waverley in particular. Krasiska in the back pocket, floats the hand pass over. Patterson had to wait. Silvani keeps it in, but Patterson says thank you and is run down from behind in a good tackle. He's holding the ball. It goes to Camporelli. Advantage taken by Brown. He centres the ball, and Craig Bradley has it too far out to score. Back to Ratton. Now he penetrates the 50, and Koutafidis has it right in front.
So we talk about it week in, week out. If you fail to maintain possession, second or third possession after the kick-in, too many forwards kept unattacked.
Anthony Koutafidis gets it to the line, but hits the goalpost. Behind. So Carlton have had a few chances, wasted them. They're 1-4 to nothing.
Yes, they're certainly playing most of the game in their forward half, Carlton, but the Collingwood defence standing up fairly well. They're certainly making sure that Carlton are having pressured shots or shots from long distance at this point.
Jamie Tape to bring it back for Collingwood. Pinpoint accuracy required. That's okay. He finds Luke Godden. Tucked in the back pocket. Godden will look towards centre wing, towards Richardson, but Allen is right there with him. The spoil is effective. Pokes it down the throat of White, who chips in towards 50 once again and finds Hamill. Well, they're doing the bulk of the attacking. They're peppering away. That's coming back beautifully in towards full forward. And Lance Whitnell just floats across the back and takes them up.
Interesting to see where the umpire puts him, because that was going through for a goal.
A lot of these patches of play, you know, are actually just resulted from Collingwood's inability to clear the kick-in, to maintain possession, and then they're just bouncing straight back off midfield, and Carlton players are just having shot after shot at goal.
In fact, I don't think they've been able to clear one yet, Lee. Whitnell has kicked a goal. Carlton have their second. So good.
Lance Whitnell gets his first goal. He will be the Blues' leading goal kicker for this year. Marvellous effort for a teenager. Hand pass to Burns in midfield. Brown pulled off it when he didn't have it. He'll take a free kick. Gavin Brown. Well, you coached him for a lot of years, Lee. What about Gavin Brown as a player?
Very, very gutsy player. Looks like he's actually, he's obviously started as a winger, played in the premiership year as a full forward line player, and back to defence. He looks like he's playing in the forward pocket today, or certainly as the alternative market forward. So he has played a lot of positions on the field, Gavin Brown.
Graham Wright still on the cricket pitch area. So he goes long to a contest at the edge of the square. Sav! Off hands, comes to Rice. He's buried. And they've rushed to behind. So Collingwood get their first score off the fist of Brett Ratton.
It looks like Collingwood are going to alternate Severio Rocker with Mark Richardson playing ruck, and as the pretty much the one tall forward. They'll have one or the other, Richardson or Rocker, Wasley at full forward, and Brown and Osborne will sort of support that forward half.
Just on 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter, Franchina from the kick-in heads towards Allen on centre wing.
Wrong way, Cooter.
Cooter, his teammate.
He was almost going to kick it back from whence it came, but
he was.
I guess the umpire had adjudicated by the time he played on. He'd already backed back 2 or 3 steps, John, and was well over the mark.
That's right. Sandy, just a quick one. Just watch Sav Rocker on the mark. He's not too flash. He hurt his leg when he came down in that big marking contest in the goal square, so keep your eyes on him.
Okay, thank you, Fly, as Koutafidis kicks down towards half forward. Good spoil by Marnie, but Collingwood have the numbers waiting down. McKay can go back to Koutafidis again. He does. He drifts it across the ground. Big ask for Ronnie DiIulio, who somehow managed to get a fist to it. Oh, beautifully done by Whitnell. He steams into goal. 2 bounces, 25 metres out. He shoots for Carlton, and he goals with a behind. Golly.
Oh, well, it's most annoying when you're forward running into those open goals. That's where the pressure builds, to be honest. he's saying to himself, I should kick this. This should be a goal. And really, he's just obviously pulled the kick by just trying to be a bit too precise at that last step or two.
Reminded me of Winston Abraham last night, Lee.
Yes, he was in the goal square though, Sam.
Yes. However, play comes on. Watson comes away towards Richardson. He takes a good mark.
But Sandy, it was great to hear the "Oh golly" make the return to the football broadcast.
Buckley breaks the Murphy tackle, kicks down towards half forward. It's going to be a Carlton free kick. The advantage is paid. Franchina's away.
Towards the southern stand side, Beaumont marks at right half-back. Into centre field to Julio. Collingwood fans all saying, he was off ball, umpire.
Play on from thinking about it, you would have, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Good work on the mark by Burns, huh?
That's right.
Whitnell, he did well to get to the front of the pack. Hamill. Well done, Aaron Hamill. They've come from all over Australia to play in the AFL. Aaron Hamill from the ACT.
That's right, Lee. I mean, if Scotty Burns hadn't been quick enough not to have run at him and dumped him, then the 50-metre penalty would have been applied.
He kind of really tested the line. He worked the mark sufficiently
worked
without
as far
the
as he
umpire
could.
giving him a penalty.
That's right.
Matthew Hogg getting the treatment on the interchange. Brown knocks it forward for the Blues. And out of bounds it goes inside the 50.
Severo Rocco's gone to full forward, and Glenn Mann's his opponent. Certainly Mann got the job last week on the very tall Peter Everett when Carlton played St Kilda. So just at the moment it looks like he's there. With Silvani up forward, Mann's going to take the very tall forward.
Shaubel's hand pass, it's dangerous. It's in front of goals for the Blues. Koutafidis, Chris Siska. And the umpire will ball it up. Umpires today, Brett Allen, Mark McKenzie and Vince Cercia. Tony Francis, one of the Collingwood veterans, starting the game on the bench. Carlton, a 1-6 record at the MCG in '98.
Have had a couple of very close losses, however. I think we should add that into that stat.
Yeah.
Whitnell tries to pluck it out of the air. Siska couldn't take it. Look out, because Ronnie's loose. Held it for a long time before trying to get it to Camporelli, and he's been pinged.
Quick holding the ball, that one, John?
That was a bit quick, and he did attempt a handball. He was just unsuccessful. So they're probably a bit tough.
McDonald to the outer side, towards Brown and McKay. McKay was almost waiting for the whistle then. It didn't come, and now he finds himself with a bonus. He's got the ball, and he just spears it short. Julio. Short again to Camporelli, who's just outside 50. Carlton lead at the moment by 16 points.
And Koutafidis back to the goal square near Buckley. Wouldn't surprise if they actually go to Kout on this one.
And you're right. Spot on, Lee.
Yeah, Buckley dropped off him enormously. I mean, Koutafidis has marked the ball. Buckley's 30 metres away. It's important that when Koutafidis is playing on Buckley, that Buckley has just as much defensive attitude when Carlton have the ball. Otherwise, this is what occurs.
Koutafidis from 46 metres. Chance to extend Carlton's lead. He does by behind.
Certainly keeping Collingwood in the game with their inaccuracy at this early stage. Shades of last week. This is amazing when Carlton were very inaccurate early against St Kilda.
And last week they kicked 7 behind before Fraser Brown got their first goal.
Let's see if they could clear this kick in.
Well done, Andrew Shaubel.
Shaubel forced to defend and had to make up a lot of ground. He does. Can't keep it in, young Adam White. There'll be a throw-in.
I tell you, Cooter's had a disappointing season. I know he's had problems personally and so on, but he's opened like a rocket today. 5 marks already.
Yeah, he's started to work his way into it over the last month or two. He's actually really started to find some form, and I think he's now is the result of the just perseverance that he showed just in recent weeks.
Here he goes again, sliding the hand pass across to Hamill. Whitnell couldn't take the mark at centre half forward. Marnie run down by Silvani.
Pushing the back.
And if those two stay at the same end of the ground, we'll have Marnie and Silvani all day. Commentator's nightmare, but a terrific tackle by Silvani.
Special comments from Marnie. Terrific tackle, but a push in the back.
I think Josh Marnie will be having a bit of a look around next time he decides to take a half a step. Up towards centre wing. Buckley and Koutafidis. What a battle. King, and it ricochets out of bounds. True centre wing.
You've got to remember when Anthony Koutafidis came through as a elite footballer, he mainly played as a defensive player who was put on on the players. He played on Buckley as a defender probably 4 years ago, and I think when he started to struggle, they put him back to centre-half back, made him play defensively, and I think his confidence has regrouped from that point.
And now they're such dominant players, they take the ruck responsibilities for the boundary throwing.
Well, yes, this is just the cat and mouse situation where ruckman will draw away from the contest. Allen and Mark Richardson are actually in the Carlton forward line, so you've got the two smaller players contesting the ruck work.
Here they go again. Kudafidi's at ground level, but it's Brown who gets it out. King for Collingwood, up short of half forward. Osborne couldn't take the mark. It comes to Camporelli. Oh, down they went in a big clash of bodies. Who's going to get up from that? We'll follow the football here for a moment. It's out near centre wing. Wosley gets the hand pass in. Chance for Collingwood's first goal. Gavin Brown misses to the right.
Yes, I think in football, when players are running in from 40 metres out, no one gets them all the time. Some players get them most of the time. Unfortunately, I think Gavin Brown more often than not will miss.
Talked about that big clash, Drew. Well, thankfully all up and appear to be okay. Murphy taking the kick in. He's at half back. It's been Carlton's quarter so far, but they have not been able to really capitalise on the scoreboard. Maybe a Bradley run could start something here. On the outer wing of the MCG, he looks towards the 50, towards Whitnell, just about bustled out of it. Here's Josh Marnie on the boundary line, almost caught. Manages to get the hand pass away, but he was tackled well and pushed over the line, forcing the throw. Inside the last 2 minutes of this first quarter. Blues by 16 points. Allen front spot. Richardson just tries to tap it further afield. Graham Wright's looping hand pass is going to be okay to Watson. Watson kicks up towards centre wing. Now they've got the numbers here. Rocker's got a chance to pop it over the top. Maybe this could be the start. Gavin Brown, will he get another opportunity? He's a long way up. He goes back to Sam. He lets one go from 60 metres. Gets too far underneath it. It's high, but King comes floating through.
What a pass!
Takes the chest mark. Yeah, that was into the wind, wasn't it? It's amazing. I think every player was expecting the ball to maybe travel another 10 or 15 metres, and actually it just hit the brick wall in mid-flight. And as it dropped, well, King was the one who had the eyes on the ball. He really just moved forward that 5 or 10 metres to take a very easy chest mark.
King, 30 metres directly in front for Collingwood's first, and he's got it.
So it's taken 27 minutes for Collingwood to get their first goal, and it was kicked by the bloke who looks like the water boy. Allen in ruck. It comes down to Rat. Wide he goes to Murphy. Murphy's kick to half forward. Beaumont, too wide for him. Marnie's there. Well, he dived for the line and scored the try. Umpire will throw it in down at half forward. David Parkin, looks as though he's might be giving the phone a bit of a workout already. Reappointed David Parkin. Tony Shaw doesn't know his fate yet. Camporelli near the boundary line. Great kick! What a goal!
Yes, he's had a big quarter, Lee.
Well, Scott Camporelli's a good finisher. He's a very good finisher. It's amazing. I guess when we watch from this angle, you see players kick the ball from the boundary on the far forward pocket, and you'd think the angle is just much tighter than it actually is, but he just was able to obviously start the ball. We see by the goal umpire, the way the goal umpire, we're just going to have a look at Camporelli. He's pretty happy. It's amazing. Players know as soon as the ball leaves the boot, you've got a pretty fair idea whether it's going to go through, and he knew it.
7 possessions to Camporelli in the first quarter. 24 plays, 8. Back to a 16-point margin. Carlton again a chance through Diulio to chop his way out of the middle. Allen, hand pass is okay to Bradley. Chris Massey's just come onto the ground. He got a touch then, but that was all. Beaumont gives a little ground to find Murphy. It turned to Massey, but the siren is sounded. Good first quarter here at the MCG. Carlton having the ball for a considerable amount of time in their forward line, but unable to capitalise. 9 effective scoring shots at goal. They lead by only 16 points. At quarter time, it is Carlton 3-6-24. Collingwood 1-2-8. Carlton had a lot of the ball.
They couldn't put it all on the scoreboard. 3-6, 24 goals from Whitnell, Camporelli and Beaumont. Collingwood, just the one goal too. Clinton King was their goal kicker after marking directly in front, 25 metres out. David Parkin staying with the club. That's good news for the Blues. And the old vein out once again. Standing by him through the good times and bad is Cole Kinnear. Here he is with Russell Morris. Fly.
Well, did everything go to plan that quarter? Yeah, expect probably our finishing off, Russell. You know, we've had the ball in our full. I don't know what the stats are, but I'd say double the amount of times Collingwood's had it in the forward line. We just haven't been able to finish off.
Had a similar problem last week against who was it?
Yeah,
it was against St Kilda in the first term.
Probably did, but I suppose one thing, we're winning the ball, winning plenty of the ball. We just have to make sure we can finish off this quarter.
Now, what are your thoughts about Collingwood-Carlton clashes? We spoke to Shorey before the match.
Oh, look, they're always going to attract a crowd. They're always played at the MCG, and I think any player who's as a young kid, you develop in footy and you think about footy, it's a game that you want to be part of, and typical of the crowd and the people here today.
Well, what would David be talking to the players about at the moment?
Well, I imagine one of the things, is our finishing off work and to keep winning the ball and our quick movement. I think if we can get it down quickly to Silvani and we crumb around Silvani's feet, he's not going to get outmarked. We're going to make sure we get it at the front of the packs.
Thanks, Cole. Sandy?
Thanks very much.
Yes, thank you, Fly, and Cole Kinnear for those thoughts. I guess Lee summed it up pretty well. A lot of the ball just unable to finish.
Yeah, no, that was the story of the match. 9 scoring shots to 3, 9 Carlton's way, 3 to Collingwood. That was the story of the game. Carlton had a much better quarter, but when you don't get the ball through, a 16-point margin, it certainly means the game is still very much in the balance, as we would all hope it should be, I guess, going into the second quarter.
Barry Mitchell is still on the staff at Carlton, but on crutches as well.
A couple of interesting numbers. We're tracking a few players today in terms of how far they run through Pineapple Head, and Bradley's actually, and Franchino and Buckley, they've all ran a bit over 3,000 metres in that first quarter. Remember, the record is 5,300 metres in one quarter run by Robert Harvey against Hawthorn about 3 weeks ago. So that's the benchmark. So Bradley's, they've a bit over 3,000 metres about average for your midfield runners.
Just a lazy 3-kilometre run on a Sunday afternoon
all, yeah.
in 25 minutes.
And get knocked over as well.
Correct. Here we go, second quarter at the MCG. 16 points the margin. Carlton lead. Let's see if they can take advantage this time on the scoreboard, or will Collingwood hit back? Murphy unable to take it cleanly. Ratton gives it to Brown. Back to Murphy, back to Brown. They're out in the middle now. Some heavy traffic, but they're clear towards Silvani. Michael was in front, so too was Marnie. He gives it away to Shaw, but they should be able to defend and clear it away here. Krasiska tucks it under his arm, goes in towards the middle, and they've got the players running here. Collingwood a real chance through Scotty Burns. Floating punt kick is wide for Brown. McKay is right there with him. Brown does well, tries to shovel it out to King. He's under pressure. He gets scragged like some junkyard dog. Loses the ball, and they'll pounce on it with McKay at the bottom, and there'll be another bounce.
Well, I think we saw exactly what Cole Kinnear spoke to Russell Morris about at quarter time, that Silvani's not able to mark the ball against Michael at the moment. That is the pretty aggressive tackle, but certainly the Carlton players aren't really getting to the feet of Silvani and Michael to crumb the ball. At the moment, when it goes to ground, Collingwood are mostly bringing the ball away.
It's tight there. Burns.
That's where I wonder whether Ron DiIulio should be just playing a little bit deeper for Carlton, just so that when the ball does go to Silvani and Michael, he can actually get there. At the moment, you've got Beaumont and Whitner. Well, they're not crumbing players, so in fact, unless it is a one-on-one contest where Silvani and Michael get a chance to have a second go at the ground level ball, I don't think Carlton have really got the good crumbing players down there.
Allen's hand pass to Hamill, and Hamill goes towards the boundary line and will get a throw in back near centre wing. Fraser Brown, so brilliant recently. He's had 7 possessions so far. Crow hasn't had a run yet. So we're on the logo, southern stand side. I think this crowd at the MCG is every bit of 60,000. Camporelli off the left. Well, attempted setter, but Allen sort of got in the way of it. And the ball's gone out of bounds again. So the boundary umpire's been pretty busy. There's Scott Crow waiting for his chance. It is a perfect Sunday afternoon at the MCG. Well, these kicks aren't going anywhere. The packs are, legs were as thick as trees in a forest. And Buckley's kick hardly went anywhere. Fraser Brown took the mark. Kick by Brown back to half forward. Camporelli had the ball punched away, and the boundary umpire, who's best of field in the second quarter, will throw it in again.
Certainly had the most possessions, Drew. 16 points the margin. Carlton leading. Whitnell, Schäuble from the back, puts it straight down the throat of Fraser Brown. He gives it away to Bradley, the prolific possession winner. Hamill's short pass goes down towards the forward line. Ratton again wants to go on with it off to Brown. This looks more promising for Carlton. In towards Silvani territory, but it was caught 3 deep. Couldn't do anything about that. Beaumont goes in, overruns the football. Silvani gets it out, gives it away to Murphy. He bends it back, and he's kicked the goal. Justin.
Overcast now as the ruckmen face each other. Allen wins it, comes to Hamill, who's been a lively inclusion this week. Camporelli out of the middle, early leap by Whitnell, up and down before it arrived. Schäuble's hand pass to Godden. Across the ground he goes. Richardson, a fumble. And boundary umpire again. He'll get another touch.
It's interesting, Carlton really run with a standard centre bounce crew. Allen, of course, in the ruck, but Ratton, Brown and Bradley, they always have those three in there, which means Koutafis is dropping out of the square and then picking Buckley up ball after. So the strength of actually getting the ball at the centre bounce contest is something Carlton very aware of.
White goes to ground, but gets the hand pass away. Franchina's kick inside the 50. Good spoil by Marnie. And he follows up after it with Beaumont. And let's call the boundary umpire into play again. Here he comes.
Been a big weekend for boundary umpires. They had a bit of practice at Waverley yesterday, I think.
Hines also awaiting his chance for a run. Johnny Hines, wearing number 26 for Carlton. Famous with David Rees-Jones, to name one. Beaumont takes it over. Just the one goal so far in this second term coming from Justin Murphy.
Here he goes again. Fatigue on the right arm.
Settle down, Lee. You're going to make him a cult hero. Schäuble, but straight to Camporelli. It's a high ball in towards full forward. Silvani is there, couldn't quite take it. Scotty Burns gets claimed, spills free. Patterson's got to try and tidy up. He's ripped to the ground, loses the ball. The pressure now on as it's swung around the body, but it's wide and it should be marked. No, a little too far. And one behind, I think, will be the end result of that. Francisca was there, but he'd gone over the line after the snap from Franchina. Well wide. 8 plays 31. There's Gavin Krasiska.
I think Silvani's all that well too. They're one of the medical people for Carlton's just been out having a chat to him. Certainly hobbling there.
He is. We'll keep an eye on him.
He laid the tackle on Burns, and he was the one to come off second best.
Gavin is told to get on with it. So he does. To the outer side. Schäuble, Richardson is at the back with Allen, and the latter takes it over.
I guess there's one thing about kick-ins, and Buckley, of course, isn't really going back to take a lot of the Collingwood kick-ins. Certainly didn't. There's not this last couple, and they're not clearing the ball well from those kick-ins, Collingwood today.
Tony Francis preparing to come on for the Pies. Bradley a clever tap. Camporelli 70 metres from goal. Still outside 50. Koutafis on the turn into Ratton. Now he's inside 50. But we saw Sav Rocker's kick hold up in the first quarter coming this way. Brett Ratton couldn't kick as far as Sav. And it holds up again in the goal square. And out of bounds near the behind post.
They had a lot of contests down there at Collingwood. A lot of one-on-one contests, but I would have thought the Julio and Krasiska is not the contest to go through to from Carlton's point of view for a mark.
Ball knocked out, so they're sharing the duties as boundary umpire now coming into the play. Actually, it's been a shocking second quarter, not to put too fine a point on it. In 7.5 minutes, there's been no football.
Not a lot happening here.
Well, just the one goal scored. Let's see what can happen here. Scotty Camporelli, seated initially on his rump, pushed it across the face. There's Matty Hogg standing by to come on. Tony Francis is also on the sidelines. You can see jogging past. So maybe a couple of changes imminent. Allen and Richardson ratting round the body. Into full forward again. Silvani caught behind. Mel Michael takes the mark in front.
Very specific position fullback, I reckon, and Michael, as a young player, only in his second year of league football, just think he can be a very, very competent fullback for Collingwood for many years.
Flat-looking punt kick comes towards the half-back line. Murphy is lurking there. Diulio, his teammate, steals it. Ronnie goes for goal, but he sprays it left. And another behind goes on the board. 4-8. It's not pretty at the moment. Plays 1-2.
Francis on for McDonald for Collingwood. Jamie Tate, former South Australian who came across to play with Richmond. Hasn't had all that many chances at Collingwood. Kicks in and Godden takes the mark.
Yeah, that's where they're hemming him in now. The first kick's not that hard to get. Now it's a question, can you extricate the ball right down the other end? And certainly Carlton have Collingwood hemmed in there.
It's close to the line. Richardson, good mark. Mark Richardson, son of former champion Wayne Richardson. He has it at right half-back. Now over the wing. And a punch from behind by Sexton. And the ball back out of bounds for yet another throw-in.
It's interesting, Tony Francis has just come onto the ground and Carlton have made a chance and Matthew Hogg has come onto the ground. I wonder if Matthew Hogg will go straight over to play on Tony Francis. He has in every other Carlton Collingwood contest for about 5 years.
A couple of little fox terriers there too, aren't they? King almost throws it out. Camporelli did the same, but there's plenty of pressure on. Krasiska, a hurried kick down towards right half forward. Sexton and Osborne. Marnie on the bottom goes back to Aussie once again. Shepherding him, allows him to get a kick down into the forward line. Could Collingwood take advantage of this? It's taken over the line for one behind.
Matthew Hogg is right on Tony Francis' heels. He pursued him like a heat-seeking missile through that pack.
Yeah, no doubt that contest was always going to present itself if once Tony Francis come on the ground.
Manton brings it in towards Sexton, who'll get a free kick.
It's a big call by David Parkman because obviously Carlton are dominating the game. So to actually alter the balance slightly to bring Hogg on specifically for Tony Francis is still a decision that has to be made without a lot of thought, I wouldn't have thought.
Here's Koutafidis. Carlton look dangerous again as they go down towards the half-forward line. Godden's under pressure, but he gets the hand pass away. King tries to get through some heavy traffic. He can't. Clever little hand pass is going to be okay. And in the end, it'll be Buckley who'll kick it towards Krasiska on centre wing. They've got Tape running wide. Uses him. He kicks towards Osborne. Osborne beaten by Sexton, who charges through. Back towards Tape territory once more. Runs into Koutafidis. Josh Marnie's got a little more space. Thinks about the hand pass. Eventually gives it off to Gavin Brown. Brown's a long way from home, and what's he got on offer? Not a lot, so he centres it. He wanted
to play Bradley
towards half forward, but it was Bradley, as you heard Lee Matthews say, the effective spoiler. McKay to Matt. They give it away now, and it's back to Bradley. They'll start a run here. Graham Wright gives chase, but Bradley loves this. Short little chip. It wasn't a good kick. Silvani's a long way from home. He's got Beaumont, who'd like to come in on that left foot. Instead, he's got to go over the top to Hall. Gets his first touch, but only just. He's going to get another chance. The high tackle is Johnny Russo, our fourth umpire said.
Could have taken a pick, I think, Sandy, either a push in the back or a high tackle. We see him absolutely buried by Luke Godden, so choose either a high tackle or a push in the back.
Yes, it is so important. We saw last night, I know we refer to other games from the weekend, Byron Pickett from North Melbourne. When he tackles, you can see his knees bend and his weight drags the player down. If you keep upright in the tackle from behind, you're likely just to push him in the back. You've got to sort of let the weight go, just buckle the knees and drag them down rather than push them down. And on that occasion, Godden really went too high and too much in the back.
Matthew Hogg then for his first and for Carlton's second for the quarter. Starting that right though. There we say it, get another behind.
Showing the running ability of Craig Bradley. He affected that spoil at half back, and he was the guy who recovered and brought the ball through midfield.
Well, the Pies have been outplayed. They find themselves just 4 goals behind. Carlton 4 goals, 9. This little spell might prove very costly later. King kicks over half back. Big pack of players. There's been lots of packs around the place. playing like a rover. Allen, and a beautiful kick to Camporelli.
Now, I must say, they shift the goalpost at the MCG quite a bit. Now, the MCG is not an exact circle. There's no doubt that forward pocket is much more open. The goal front from that angle is much more open than it would be on the other side of the ground. So this has really got plenty of goal fronts open to him, and he's a good kick, Camporelli.
Kick one in the first quarter. And he steered through his second.
Ominous signs for Collingwood. 14 effective scoring shots to 4. Carlton leads. Kicking for goal has let them down a little. They're looking the goods as White sends them down to the forward line. Here's Hogg again. Snaps, but shoots wide. Too wide to add to the score. Collingwood fans bearing their heads at the moment, looking for something. Burns.
Those scarves will be going in mothballs soon. We've got many more occasions to wear them for the season.
No. Allen over the top to affect the spoil, down towards Hamill. Patterson, good tackle. Brown finishes with, he can centre this. Goes in towards White, half forward. Bradley is there with him. Bradley goes back to Allen, who's got Fraser Brown there, ignores him, kicks in towards Beaumont, just a little too far for him. Burns takes the mark.
Well, Collingwood have the players on the southern stand side. Watson, he's got Wright leading short. He might want to go longer. Wright takes the hand pass on centre wing. Game 200. Kicks to half forward. And Rice puts on the spoil, and it's back out of bounds.
They are in control down near the Carlton defence. Really can't remember a Collingwood player winning anything like a contest forward of centre.
Richardson has taken 4 marks. He's had opportunities to take more than that. Comes to the back. Koutafidis lost it in the tackle. Tarrant gets the hand pass out. Tarrant, number 20, there he is. Brown slips the tackle. Kick by Brown to midfield. And a good stretch. Excellent mark by Gavin Krasiska.
Michael Gardner's on for his first game also in the Carlton forward line just this last minute or two, replacing Richard Osborne, I think.
Poor kick by Krasiska. Camporelli concedes some ground to Sexton. The centre-half back comes out wide to wing, and Massey has it. Promising youngster. Number 3, not a bad number to have at Carlton. Bradley, Whitnell. Followed up by Massey, but Brown beat him to it. Watson for Collingwood. Krasiska. Now Wright. Gavin Wright just hoists it high. 2 against 2. They need a mark. Buckley wasn't in the contest, and the umpire said he was pushed out. Free to Buckley.
Metres from home, Nathan Buckley starts it in a wide arc and centres it in towards half forward. Good kick and a good mark taken by the youngster. This will be a big moment for him as Michael Gardner wanders back to have a shot at goal. His first goal, his first kick.
And I think, importantly, Buckley got the ball in there quickly, and of course he went towards Rocker, but Gardner was the third man up. Sexton. He just lost Gardner's body there for a while, but a good grab. You don't get your chances, you've got to make the most of them. First touch in league football, strong mark. Let's see if his first kick can be a goal.
Tony Shaw said, watch out for this boy, he's an athlete, and he's kicked a goal.
And so another Michael Gardner hits the AFL ranks, this time for Collingwood, with a mark and a goal with his first kick in league ranks. Massey gets the hand pass to Brown. Fraser Brown up to half forward. We have Gavin Brown for Collingwood, Fraser Brown for Carlton. Off the ground goes Watson. And again Watson. And Fraser Brown came over the top of him and gave away the free.
They're often not paid, Drew, when the player contributes to the high, and Watson actually dives under Fraser Brown, really, so they are often called as play on.
And here's a mark by Richardson. The hand pass to Buckley. He's inside 50. It starts left, it stays left, and a behind.
starting to get those couple of possessions. He's spent a bit of the ball, Buckley. He's had 11 possessions, so it's not as if he hasn't been getting it, but just at the moment there hasn't been a great deal of penetration in his play. Koutafidis is actually doing just as well for Carlton. I wouldn't say he's on top of Buckley, certainly doing just as well, however.
Arnie and Osborne on the bench. There was a frustrated Dean Rice. Where will I kick this to? He's given it straight to Gavin Brown, who's gone for home. And it's been marked right on the line.
Oh, that was a line baller.
Oh. Well, the goal umpire appeared to be in a good position. Allen on the outer side takes the mark. Bottom line is Carlton will clear towards White. Solely met by Shawbull. The good doctor is there as well to give it to Buckley. From a standing start, he pumps it long. Suddenly they're inside 50 again. Richardson was at the back, but Carlton have the defenders there as well. They're not out of it yet. Gone is Patterson. Loses the ball towards Gavin Brown. Under pressure to push it along in front before he can find someone. Patterson popped up again and sneaks into the pocket. That's going to be okay because he's found the youngster in Chris Tarrant. Tight angle for Tarrant and kicking from almost 50 metres. Collingwood starting to close the gap. Now 23 points. Favour of the Blues. He's a left footer though, so it's not the pocket he wants. Goes across the face. Big pack of players. Gardner was in the thick of things again. Brown gets the hand pass away towards White. He wobbles it up towards the half-back line. The only one there is Krasiska. Centering ball by the Collingwood veteran. Stolen by McKay. The old 1-2 with Hogg and McKay's away. Down towards half-forward. Clean bowls the lot. Here's Whitnell. If he can get a motor on, he's in with a chance. But he can't.
Pushing the back. Collingwood's free advantage called, Sanders.
Take it away, Drew.
Well, Silvani's been throwing himself into tackles, giving away a couple of free kicks for so doing. Krasiska from right half-back up to centre wing. Gee, really made Michael earn the free kick. Fumble by Murphy. Comes back to White, into Rice, near the centre circle. Dean Rice's kick to the 50, Whitnell. Lance Whitnell, who came into the game with 41 goals, 26 for the season. He's taken it quickly. The whistle's gone. I think he's going to get a
blood rule.
Surely blood rule. Must have some blood on his face. So he won't be allowed to stand the mark.
Works in Whitnell's favour. So Andrew Shawbull coming off.
Now they have to be careful here because if they haven't got a player that's ready to come on straight away, the umpires will in fact allow the game to continue without Shawbull being replaced.
Not quite sure of the ruling on that one. It seems a pretty ad hoc thing, John.
They've been told to be aware of it, Lee, and just make sure that they do replace the player in Shawbull's position.
Make sure the players are replaced quickly, but if a player's just being too tardy going off, well, that's his problem.
Yep.
Richard Osborne comes on. He'll finish his career short of the 300 games. Today's 282. Lance Whitnell found a bit tough to kick goals at this end. And that's away to the left. It had the distance. That's over the line, surely, and behind.
Yeah, most of the kicks are actually going where that one went exactly. Then the left, they're going left, right to left across the goal front, which is where the wind seems to be pushing them. It's always hard to judge where the wind's going at the MCG. It just goes in that many different directions. Sometimes you've got to aim straight at the goals and just hope that that's the right one.
4.5 minutes left in this first half. Nathan Buckley back into play. Big ask for Graham Wright here, although he does have support. Richard Osborne, who, as Drew said, just back on the ground, Aussie. Certainly enjoyed his football for a long period of time. Rice to Murphy. Back again towards Beaumont. He's clean bowled. Massey's at the back to tidy up for Rice. And he's got Whitnell. Now he's still 55 metres out. It's a centering ball out of the shadows, into the sunlight. It's good for Kuta.
Yeah, it was interesting as Whitnell looked up. Koutafidis pointed to where he wanted the ball, which was exactly where Whitnell put it, really. And Buckley engaged Buckley's contest. He knew that the ball was going to drop exactly where it was. Pushed Buckley a couple of metres away, came back into the line.
Koutafidis for his first. He makes no mistake. Carlton again stretch their lead.
Yes,
Back in the middle. Pretty handy lead now to the Blues, 46-16. And they're forward out of the centre again. Ball lands on its point. Watson. Burns was in trouble when he got it. White applies pressure. The Blues will come up with it. Fraser Brown, he'll have another 40 touches today. Beaumont to Krasiska. Here's Koutafidis. Buckley's got him this time. Couta's now got him. Good contest. Bradley. Back to Allen. Circled around that ball like a plane coming into land. Buckley's hand pass to Wright. Half volley for Crow. Crow's hand pass. Chance for Gardner again, but just a little fumble at the end. There is a bit of a stoush going on, but we'll follow the footy for the time being. Murphy. Well, great kick out of defence. Good running, Manton. This could finish up being a goal at the other end. Ratton. Open spaces for the Blues. Kick by Ratton. Whitnall.
good transference, wasn't it?
Francis and Allen who are going at it like David and Goliath, Drew.
Whitnall and a mark to Hamill, to Dean, just off. No, it's off him, through from behind.
I can't believe that.
No, I was sure the mark would have been paid, but without hesitation, the umpire's run in and given the goal umpire the all clear, and the point stands. I mean, that...
Can't spoil like that, can you, John?
No, that's a pretty firm grab by Peter Dean, and a spoil from the front, which would normally be, as you say, Lee, paid as a free kick to Peter Dean.
Well, we've got to put it in the book as a rush behind, but none of us agree with it.
Graham Wright from half-back goes towards Patterson, but going wide, Collingwood. Now he straightens up and looks towards half-forward. Koutafidis floats over the top. Big pack of players. Richardson, he was the one left standing up. Buckley can goal for Collingwood. Into the open goal, throws and slams it into the woodwork. Oh, golly.
And I tell you, it's not the Collingwood supporters clapping and cheering, they're the Carlton ones, I can tell you. I guess it's a love-hate relationship with the great players on the other sides. Nathan Buckley, deep down, everybody admires him, but the opposition are always happy when he makes a blunder.
Well, could that be costly or not? We'll have to wait and see as Ratton swings it in towards Dean.
Oh,
he's chopped to the ground by Dean. He must wonder what on earth's going on in this game of footy. Graham Wright, a worm burner into half-forward. Now we'll see what Bucks can do with this one.
He can back this one in.
Yeah, poor old Peter Dean, he's just finishing off his career, I would think, these last couple of games. A couple of marking opportunities. Normally when a player comes from the front to spoil, John, it's almost an automatic free kick.
Yeah, once there's firm contact, Lee, then the umpires will pay the free kick. The one on the scoreline, maybe the umpire didn't think it was firm contact, but certainly firm contact, free kick.
Buckley then for his first. Distance certainly not a problem for him. But accuracy again. When he goes for a bit of distance, he characteristically swings that leg out wide.
Yeah, the natural hooking action.
Yeah. 2-6, plays 6-11.
And of their 2-6, Nathan Buckley has kicked 3 behind. Last minute of the first half. Bradley's hand pass is good to Brown. Koutafidis running far and wide on Buckley. The hand pass forward. Here comes Camporelli, who's kicked 2. Silvani, 35 metres out.
Well, he's had to earn every kick today, hasn't he, Steve Silvani? That one, when he led to the open space at the kicker, well, it was a low drill pass by Camporelli. Once he got the yard, there's no fullback in the land that can prevent that mark being taken.
Kick by Silvani, here's a goal.
Well, as you said, Silvani took a mark very similar at the other end where he just led and the ball was kicked in low and Mel Michael right behind him, but if the ball's kicked in that low and he's a metre or so ahead, there's not much Mel Michael can do.
This was just the result of the kick-in drill, really. They had players just dropping back Carlton, and once they won the ball at the fall of the ball from the kick-in on Carlton's half-back line, there was just 3 players all the way through until Camporelli kicked the ball to Silvani. So it was a good setup, one of those pre-planned moves that worked well.
Umpire Brett Allen puts it in motion again, and Allen wins it. but only for a moment. Collingwood have got some thinking to do at half-time. Buckley picks up Richardson. And he ponders what might have been. I'd say he'd still be spewing about hitting that post, Bucks.
Yeah, 3 behinds for the quarter. It's a big difference if 3 scoring shots at 3 goals rather than 3 behinds.
So half-time here at the MCG. Carlton leads 7-11-53. Collingwood 2-6-18. It's half-time here, and so far it has been Carlton. They could be leading by far more than they are. They've had a lot of the ball, but they've been inaccurate in front of goal. 3-6 in the first term and 4 goals 5 in the second. They are 7-11-53, leading Collingwood 2-6-18. Time now, though, on our Saturday-Sunday coverage. I hope you're enjoying our big weekend in 7 to check out some of the contenders in the Cadbury's Mark of the Week.
Our first contender, Stephen Silvani of Carlton. Next up, Darryl Wakelin of St Kilda. Damien Hardwick of Essendon.
Wasn't that terrific stuff?
Mark D. Brett Montgomery of the Western Bulldogs.
Cadbury's is in this.
And our final contender, Stuart Lowe of St Kilda. Now, here are this week's contenders for the Cadbury AFL Mark of the Year. Mark A, Stephen Silvani of Carlton. Mark B, Darryl Wakelin of St Kilda. Mark C, Damien Hardwick of Essendon. Mark D, Brett Montgomery of the Western Bulldogs. And Mark E, Stuart Lowe of St Kilda.
And now for your chance to win. See if you can pick which of those contenders the panel will choose as the Cadbury AFL Mark of the Week. If your selection is the first correct entry drawn next week, you'll win a family trip to see your AFL team play at a state. Just send any 2 Cadbury wrappers in a standard envelope with your name, address and selection on the back to Cadbury AFL Mark of the Year, Lot Bag 100, Pennant Hills, New South Wales 17771. On weekdays, you can hear the contenders again by ringing 1902 555 693 or by contacting our website. The Cadbury AFL Mark of the Year.
Yes, go to it now and you've got a chance to be a winner in the Cadbury Mark of the Year. Time now to check out some highlights and scores of other matches being played in this penultimate round of home and away matches. First up, Fremantle and Port over there in the west.
It's inside the 50. Treadray battles down there with Carroll. Carroll did the hard work, got in front, missed the ball. Treadray kicks the goal.
Port now rebound. Franco out wide has found Lockwood. Plenty of time, plenty of space. Will run to 48 metres. Kicks along towards the square. Big pack there. There's pushing, there's shoving. Umpire asks the question of the goalie. He's going to say a goal. They're staring at their second worst first quarter. Here's Clement off the interchange bench. Has he been given the mark? He has. Vernon is a Western Australian, so from 68 metres out, Clement kicks long. He's kicked strong. It's got to get the line. It's got the line right on the siren. Dockers get there first. Burton and Primus again. Burton, the big fist, puts it right towards the goal square. It's just rolling. It's going to sit there. It's off the ground. Hunter's got it. This certainly has been a better quarter for the Dockers than the first. Kick it. Kicks well into the lead. So, Dale, Kingsley Hunter goes long. He's on the way back.
Looks like a pretty good day over there in the west. Now, if you don't want to know the scores of that clash between Fremantle and Port Power, look away because here they come now. And of course, the other match in progress today is being played at Waverley between Hawthorn, who've been on a winning run in the last 3 weeks, and Geelong, who've been in an absolute nightmare. First up, some highlights between the Hawks and the Cats.
To the centre square. Bizzle got the ball back out towards King, chips it to Riccardi. It's a beautiful kick, unloads a big bomb. This is a great kick, Peter Riccardi. He's got it. Needs support from Jade Rawlings. Lord. Great evasive action around the corner, into the pocket. Dixon got his hands on the ball. Wants to take it over is Sanderson. Pinched by Dixon. Quick snap. He's got it. Great play, Hawthorn. King and Salmon. They'll be at it all day. Riley inside 50. Chance for the Cats. The youngster has kicked a goal.
It's too easy, wasn't it?
This is a beautiful kick looking for Crummell. Ball thumped forward. Going to ground. Scholl wants a free kick. Loose ball picked up by Chick. Needs support. Rockets the ball back to Hay outside of 50.
Long bomb. Great kick.
Treleven's kick, well, he's kicked to a contest, and there were plenty of Geelong players there. Robrin did well to get it to Crawford. Had his colours lowered, I thought, by Riccardi in the first quarter. So they might be able to set something up here, Hawthorn. Dixon, 50 metres out and closing, 40, now 35. Dixon, well, has he got it? I think he...
Yes, some sharp shooting down there at Waverley by Hawthorn and Geelong forwards. Let's check those scores, but if you don't want to know them, pop out to the kitchen and get a cup of tea. And two men who've been enjoying their cups of tea, Lee Matthews and Drew Morfitt, will be back to analyse this game right after this break.
Welcome back to the MCG, where it's half-time and Carlton 7-11-53 lead Collingwood 2-6-18. Camporelli, the only multiple goal scorer, and young Michael Gardner, making his league debut, scored a goal for Collingwood with his first kick in AFL football. And Tony Shaw warned us to look out for him. He's got a bit of size about him.
Well, yeah, the ball fell from him. He kept his eyes on the ball. That was the important thing. Severio Rocker was in the area, but he forgot about Rocker and he said, I can go and take the mark myself, and he did. So that's good initiative, I think, for the kid to take the bit between his teeth. But overall, really, it was pretty much all downhill for Collingwood. Silvani and Michael let duel at full forward. In the main, Michael's done pretty well there, but really around the midfield, Carlton have been terrific. That crew of theirs, Ratton, Brown and Bradley, have been terrific in recent weeks. And Camporelli kicked 2 goals for the half, had plenty of possessions. He's also a very dangerous player. So really it was only inaccuracy, I guess, that's kept this match from being an absolute blowout. It's even 35-point margin. But extricate the ball from the pack, and of course, very skilled player, Murphy, and kicked that goal very skillfully. And this is that first goal from Gardner. Long kick in from Buckley. You see Gardner, and Sexton lost him completely somehow or other. And the kid just stood there and marked the ball, really. So a very nice start to your league career. Take a mark in front of the goal square and go back and slot it through.
Does a bloke like Sexton, all-Australian, forget about a first gamer and all of a sudden come up and be red-faced with something like that?
Well, it can happen a little bit because you're not used to the player being there, and all of a sudden, he turns up. He's a young kid, and sometimes you're just not as disciplined with your defence as you may be against a named player.
Well, Carlton was certainly inaccurate in the first quarter, but in the first half. But so were the Pies, and Nathan Buckley kicked 3 behinds, won a poster from point-blank range, and, well, in a score of 2 goals, 6, it really wasn't good enough from Collingwood. Let's hope they can rally in the second half, and we'll be back for the second half after a short break.
MCG, a cool overcast day and getting colder by the minute. I wouldn't be surprised if the front passes across and we get a bit of rain later this afternoon. That's not going to help Collingwood. At the moment, they're down by some 35 points against Carlton. I'm sure that Tony Shaw would have had a bit to say at half-time. Let's find more about that now with Russell Morris. Fly.
Tony, what do you have to say to the boys at half-time? We'll walk with you if you like. We'll walk.
Look, it's pretty ordinary. There's no doubt they dominate around midfield, and blokes like Camporelli have just been too good. So we've got to cut them down, but we've got to take risks now. We've got to play the ball on as quickly as possible and hopefully get some mobility up forward where blokes can do it in the air and at ground level.
I was going to ask you about that. The problem forward of centre, it keeps bouncing back.
Oh yeah, look, they're just not winning the ball, and we've had a couple of opportunities, but blokes just haven't had the courage of their convictions to have a shot on goal.
But when they do have a shot on goal, they keep missing. Has that been a problem for a few weeks?
Look, you miss only the pressure you put on yourself, but we just got to take some punts now.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it, mate.
Tony Shaw, yes, thank you for those comments. And Lee, let's have a look at the stat story as it stands today.
Well, they're all in Carlton's favour, as you would expect. Even the tackling pressure of Carlton's been good. The centre breaks 9-1. Isn't that a big margin in front of the Blues? Inside 50, 37-22. The only thing they haven't done well in that half, Carlton, is really convert accurately. 18 scoring shots, from which they've only scored 7 goals. That has kept the margin down to 35 points. That's a big one, but it could have been an absolute blowout from Collingwood's point of view. So certainly statistically and in general play, Carlton well on top.
Just about set for the second half. Severio Rocker just 4 kicks in the first half, starting up on the bench in the second.
Limped a little bit to the bench, Sandy, so I think it's probably the ankle, I think it was, that he hurt early, forced him off the ground.
Well, let's see if they can close this gap. It's 35 points at the long break.
Rain threatening here at the MCG. Allen wins it, but it's Buckley out of the centre. Round the body he goes. They want the first 2 or 3 smartly, just to give themselves a sniff, give themselves a chance. King gives it to right off the Tarrant. Outside 50, goes into the pocket. Difficult bouncing ball is well taken by Tate, and the kick is a shocker by Tony Francis. The little terrier, well, he's like a dog on 3 legs.
Well, he should have kicked it anyway, but of course it's his first touch for the day. Started on interchange, and when you haven't really had much of the ball in your hands, you get anxious. And he ran 1 step when he probably should have ran 2 and kicked across his body, as we saw, so badly wasted opportunity.
Here's Bradley on the outer side. And Carlton's in the sort of mood that could make them pay for that. Allen on centre wing. Close attention from Schäuble. Allen had a look round at the man in white, Johnny, wondering whether he might have paid it, but it wasn't to be.
Tony Shaw mentioned Camporelli in the first half. He had 15 possessions, 14 kicks, 1 handball. Here's Burns into Crow, back to Marnie, who's had quite a lot of it for Collingwood. To the 50, Gavin Brown. This is when his former coach Lee Matthews shudders when Brown is close to goal. He passes off, contested mark.
Hands.
Yes, Collingwood mark right in front. To Chris Tarrant.
Yeah, a lot of hands up there at the ball. I guess one would argue that Carlton really didn't go for the spoil. They all went for the mark.
I think
Tarrant came down with it.
Yeah, he certainly had the first grab and held it all the way to the ground, Lee, so I think it's reasonable to give Chris Tarrant that mark.
Well, Tony Francis missed with the opportunity to give the Pies just the start they needed in the second half. But pretty early on, Tarrant has a chance to get their first goal. They kicked just 2 goals in the first half. Tarrant right in front, 40 metres out. It's right, and it misses right. Very disappointing. Leading possession winner in the first half was Fraser Brown, who had 16. Camporelli, Bradley and Murphy had 15 each, and Ratton 13. Leading for Collingwood, Buckley with 15, Krasiska 14.
19 behinds in the game to date, and just 9 goals. Tells the story. The margin 33 points. That man you can expect to poll pretty well in the Brownlow, Nathan Buckley. Koutafidis, Buckley there again, calling to the umpire, but he's ignored. Rowe's hand pass to Marnie is okay. Josh Marnie looks up towards the forward line, and the mark is taken by Tate. Tight angle and 55 out. Jamie Tate, centering ball. Tarrant again was the target. Couldn't take the mark. Koutafidis cool, and here they come. Out of defence, Camporelli goes back into the middle once again. Ronnie loves a run. Diulio's on the loose, down towards the forward line. Silvani and Michael. Oh, he didn't know one was coming from behind. And he's lost it.
Paid for incorrect disposal, Sandy.
Oh. Well, what did you think? That looks like young Tarrant in trouble
after that marking contest. After the marking contest, he got a little bit of rough treatment. Here we see it again. Mel Michael seemingly doing everything right. That's deemed to be a prior opportunity for Steve Silvani.
You've got to lay the tackle, don't you?
That's right. There's got to be a tackle. That's very tough.
You make a lovely cup of tea, but that is tough, Dog.
I said it was tough.
There's no need to snap. On we go. Koutafidis up to the half-forward line. Schäuble takes the mark. Has Kouta changed jumpers, has he? He might be wearing 54 now. Here's King. Up towards Watson. The juggler takes it. Needs a couple of goals, 3 in fact, to join the century club in his career. Richardson is well spoiled. Rice is waiting down. Carlton will clear once again to Ronnie.
Oh, look at the space for Diulio. Comes up the half forward. Whitnell, good spoil.
No, penalised for pushing the back against Schäuble. So obviously, in the umpire's opinion, he didn't think Andrew Schäuble's prime objective was to spoil Lance Whitnell, but rather to push him in the back. So Lance Whitnell will take the free kick. It's a really difficult area for the umpires because invariably the player at the back is just so desperate to affect the spoil, it can look as though he's trying to bury him.
Well, after the last decision, our confidence in the umpires is shaken.
That was a nice little kick by Whitnell. He saw there was space for Silvani to move into, and he just chipped the ball up. And Silvani, the high chest marker, was a very, very nice setup.
Kicked a goal in the second quarter. This for Carlton's 8th. Oh, he stubbed his toe. Oh, it's lucky. Luck's of fortune. Hamill.
Great pass.
Hasn't been a great game for Stephen Silvani.
He's brought up a
battled hard, but kicked up half the SCG turf.
He replaced with the one. He replaced it.
And I can tell you, it does hurt the ankle when you do that too.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at this. Yeah. Puff of dirt.
What a shocker. And it's going to work out all right for the Blues because Hamill couldn't miss from here.
I'd say that today.
Can miss from anywhere, Drew.
Oh, yes. Can we go home, Lee? this is unbelievable.
It's a Carlton Collingwood game. What are you talking about?
There might be someone to argue that, Lee, or debate it.
No, it hasn't been a classic Carlton Collingwood game to this point, I must say, but at the moment Collingwood are hanging in there. This first goal of this quarter is a pretty important one, I think, for what happens. If Carlton get it, well, the floodgates may well open completely, but Collingwood need it to just get in control.
Here's trouble, Camporelli. It's coming back. What a goal! Don't go home yet, Drew. Great goal to Scott Camporelli.
Yes, well, no sooner do you say...
Today, and they're looking down the barrel now. 40 points the margin. Bradley slaps it forward, but straight to Buckley. He kicks it straight into someone's rump. Allen gets a wobbly one, but straight to the good doctor. Watson chips up towards centre wing. Too far for King. France is there. Gets a bad bounce initially. Will go again to King. Not a pretty hand pass. Makes the youngster work hard, and he puts it straight down the throat of Camporelli, who at the moment will get 3 votes. Brown in towards Silvani. Centering ball. A big pack floats. At the back is Marty. He's under the pump. Look out, they're going to pounce on you. Silvani, the hand pass. The snap and goal is through for one behind by the veteran Peter Dean. Well, he's been belted from pillar to post in his penultimate game, so he's probably concussed anyway.
Lee, has Patterson been on Camporelli the whole time?
No, Patterson has mainly been on Brown. I mean, the matchups might have sort of evaporated a bit after the early beginning, but no, mainly on Brown, certainly in the first half. Donald started on Camporelli, and yeah, the matchups, I guess, have changed very much since then, because as Carlton got control, Collingwood just had to swap them round.
Pato, he's had a shocker. He's had 4 touches.
Yeah, not getting it, and his opponent's getting it hoops.
Shawball on the 50. Here's Camporelli again. Saw a game earlier this year where I just kept on following him. Couldn't help but get the 3 votes. Anyway, they've turned it over. Richard Osborne runs out of defence. Up to half forward. The wrestling goes on before the ball arrives. Francis. Just looks stone cold, Tony Francis. Back to Buckley. Buckley's kick is good. Brown has it inside the 50.
Won't kick the distance from here. He'll just try and lay it off or kick it on quick.
Former coach is gnashing his teeth. Kick by Brown in the goal square. Savrock is back on. Not 100% fit, but he's going to kick. Ooh.
Mark paid to Manton.
Sav was just going to run around and kick a goal. Manton to McKay. 61 plays 20, a 41-point lead to the Blues early in the third quarter.
Beaumont has it. Tucked in the back pocket. Allen sneaks out towards the wing area. Camporelli's between the two. It drops short, and so Whitnell just chips in. Gives it off to Dean Rice. Swirling old breeze here. Even the Gulls are having problems keeping their position. Osborne, Burns, wider once again to Watson. Over the top of Ratton. Krasiska can go back again, and he does. 4 hand passes, and it's like ring-a-ring-a-rosy. They've gone nowhere. Buckley's on centre wing.
Yes, receiving possession in modern football. I don't think it's like it used to be, because we saw there was 4 possessions there. Play went nowhere.
Exactly right. King in trouble. Brown just too wide for Patterson. Ratton may make him pay. He gives it to Diulio. They've got loose players everywhere. Peter Dean is in the middle of the ground. Back again he goes to Ronnie. Poor hand pass. Not good. Mal Michaels away for Collingwood. Up towards half forward. Oh, a couple of Carlton players collided. Could have been Rice and Sexton, and it's going to cost them a goal, courtesy of Brown. 2 players down and 1 slow.
So Lee was happy with that. That's about Brownie's distance. He's kicked it from 1 metre out.
Now, don't get me on Kevin Brown's case. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying, he's not that confident.
Oh, look at Bucks.
Here's Buckley. Across the ground. Gavin Brown leads the chase, but he's 50 metres out. And he's lost control of it to Franchina. Oh, shocking off the left. Camporelli, it's following him like a magnet. What a game. Penetration with the kick. Silvani and Michael. I tell you, Michael does keep his eye on the ball. He doesn't just play his man. Schauble. Post a goal, though. Osborne gets away with it. Watson out of defence.
And so he should have.
Oh, poor kick by Watson. Dean. Fraser Brown, a centering kick. Where's Camporelli this time? No mark this time. Unbelievable. But Patterson still couldn't get a possession.
Pushing the back, so I think it's Tony Francis will take a free kick.
He looks as though he's looking around saying, "Who, me?"
No, it's actually Ratton just pushes him to the deck there as the ball came out to Richard Osborne.
Oh! Peter Dean has kicked the ball back but missed the target by 20 metres, and Peter Dean does kick better than that.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, not me, Lee, because if I say stuff like that, I'm jumped on like a ton of bricks. But
And
you're
so,
right.
so you should be, Russo.
But you are right.
We know we blame
I tell you what,
for
Fly, if he'd been kicking it to a Carlton player, it would have hit him on the chest with the lace out.
In midfield, they misjudged the leaps of the ball, and that will be a ball up.
Do you reckon every other umpire at the game gets blamed for the umpiring decisions, John? Every other ex-umpire?
No, not at all. It was funny because I always used to struggle being responsible for my own mistakes, but now that I'm responsible for everybody else's, it's really
It's
tough.
a real problem.
Just under 12 minutes remaining. Franchina, a hurried kick wide. The race is on, and Scotty Burns, he controlled it well because Ratton was on his hammer. Not only did he hold front spot, but he controlled the ball and finds Watson. So Collingwood looking to steady things down a bit here. That's a strong mark by Francis.
Franchina is never far away, is he?
No, he's a tight checking player. Certainly Matthew Hogg will be a bit upset that Tony Francis is on the ground and he's not, I must think at this point.
Now, when Tony Francis was on the bench, just before he came on, he was getting a word in the air from one of the great taggers of all time, Mickey Gaffer. He could know how to beat a tag or just lay one.
Yes, Premiership teammates in 1990, they were. Mick Gaffer does some fitness work with Collingwood.
A couple of kicks, a couple of hand passes today. But he'd love this. And so would Collingwood. It's not pretty. Again, it floats away to the right. .22 behinds we've seen for the day. Sexton on the outer side, tucked in the back pocket. Camporelli, the only multiple scorer on the ground today. He's got 3, 1 in each quarter.
I think free kick to Richard Osborne, I would say. Yeah.
So back it comes to Aussie.
Has
He's a very good player, hasn't he, Lee?
Yes, he's last year we announced his retirement, so our second last game of AFL football.
So last year, this week.
Game needs players like him. Gardner couldn't take it. Murphy's hand passes to Rice. Tumbles the punt back towards the centre. Schauble gets one of those bouts where you've got to wait. So Marnie comes in and he's ripped off the ball. Here comes Lance Whitnell. He spears it out in front of Fraser Brown. He's going to have to get a wriggle on. Now he can put it into cruise control and kick a goal for Carlton.
Brown and Buckley matched up at that centre bounce. Fraser Brown just after kicking the goal, right for Collingwood. Inside the 50, Richardson loses control to McKay. He's bumped over by Crow. Beaumont. And pass goes about 25 metres. Burns, number 17, Murphy in late. And the umpire will ball it up. Carlton 9-13 to Collingwood 3 goals 9. Peter Dean, we all reckon took a mark earlier in the game in the second quarter. It wasn't paid, it was about a centimetre out too. Camporelli, there's that magnet in his hand. Koutafidis changed jumpers at half time because the one he wore in the first half, number 43, was just about torn off his back. Whitnall couldn't mark, but Ratton's there. Fraser Brown, slippery as an eel. To Ratton, back to Brown. He centres the ball. Punch to the front. Rover's needed. Not a bad sort of a rover. Silvani. Snap round the corner by Hamill. Unbelievable.
Yes, the floodgates are starting to open just a little bit. It's certainly been a frustrating scoring in this third term. Neither side really has been able to do the finishing. It's just been going from end to end, and that last precise kick, Carlton have got one through, and then all of a sudden next time forward Hamill has actually done it again.
Eight and a half minutes remaining in this third quarter. Bradley out of the middle to Murphy. Bang! Good smother by Buckley. Not out of it yet though, the Pies. Crow around the body, kicks to half forward. And a good one-hander is taken by Richardson. Saw a shot of Tony Shaw moments ago. Looking concerned, worrying not only about today, but he's got concerns of his future as well to think about. Richardson directly in front. Kicking into this swirly old breeze from 51 metres, but he's a lovely kick. Delightful kick. So Richardson...
That stops the rot a little bit for the Pies, but they find themselves 40 points behind. Allen in ruck. Collingwood won it out of the middle. First gamer. Koutafidis, beautiful hand pass to Camporelli. Just keeps following him. Whitnall, good stretch. Centred.
Yeah.
And White virtually right in front.
It's good use of the ball because really there's always seems to be the vacant space on the opposite side, on the opposite flank, and if you can actually just direct the ball, it was a really drilled pass then, wasn't it, by Whitnall to White, who he may not have been the exact target, but he certainly was good enough. He read the flight of the ball much better than the other players in that part of the ground.
So White shooting for goal. Should be Carlton's 11th. It wobbles, it floats, and just gets there.
Once again, Marnie leads in the race. Beats Whitnall. Shorville goes to Watson. Just stands and delivers towards centre wing. Matt somehow gets a fist around the body. That was a throw.
It certainly was, Sandy, but we're on this side and the umpire was on the far side of that, and as I said earlier, the worst mistake an umpire can make is to guess, even if he guesses right.
From the throw-in, Koutafidis thought about it with Bradley, and then it's popped over the line for another throw. So Johnny Hines still waiting to get a chance there. We see Severio Rocker, Peter Dean, Hines there with him. Nathan Buckley today, 15 kicks, 5 hand passes, 6 marks. There's Hines, just talking about. Looks like young Chris Massey with him. Allen, front spot. Brown, King. And handy for Collingwood, it's crossing from Sydney. Buckley again, another possession. Bounces it up to half forward. Richardson, Wosley, just come onto the ground and has promptly put it out of bounds on the full. But good pressure forced him into that.
Has the pleasure of Anthony Franchina's company as an opponent. I don't think that's too pleasurable for most players.
He sort of gives constant feedback, doesn't he, Lee?
He does.
How good your performance has been.
Shame for young James Wosley. That was his first kick today. Went out of bounds on the full. Crow, blind hand pass, just getting it going the team's way. Koutafidis, Hamill, Franchina, cornered. Buckley trying to keep it alive.
Yes, there's no space between Franchina and his opponent, and that's the way. Frankly, I think all defenders should be able to play that way. It's a line ball, I guess, between sort of feeling an opposition forward and pushing into him away from the ball. Where the fine line is in what's, I guess, right within the spirit of the game is a difficult one to judge.
And he did a particularly good job, I would have thought, on Nicky Winmar last week. That was a tough situation for anybody.
Well, I guess, but that's the way he plays, and I think players have to say, well, we've got certain skills. Mickey Gafer, we spoke about him before, ex-Collingwood player. Sometimes you can make a league career by just making sure that you can prevent opposition good players getting the ball. And it's all types. That's one of the great things about footy. You need all types.
Osmond flips the ball in. White grabs it for Carlton. Juggler.
Held. Been a free kick to Ronnie Giulio. Didn't take the mark.
Silvani leads quickly. Oh, well done. But he's worked particularly hard for his kicks today. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. He's had just 4 kicks. This is virtually right in front, 45 metres out. And it won't make it. Still there, though. And now rush through from behind.
Yes, he's worked extremely hard, Stephen Silvani, but I guess the combination of Michael's attention and some sloppy kicking at times, he hasn't really been terribly effective on the scoreboard, but very hard working in the area.
At the back is Franchina. Spins over the line. 47 points now, the margin. It was 35 at half-time. Severio Roca carrying a bit of an injury and having a spell. Buckley and Koutafidis, 2 of the game's best players. Brown, take it. Francis, head down, bottom up as usual. Well done, Krasiska. Well done, Gavin Krasiska. As he goes into full forward and a good mark. Taken by Richardson. Trying to con the umpire with the angle. That won't work. He'll be brought around. Not overly severe for him, though.
There's a few Collingwood players who've been making position in the forward 50, and I think there's a few teammates that are just looking at them and saying, no, they'll have the shot myself. I do think there might be a bit of a survival mentality starting to creep in as this game is developing.
Yeah, it's a worry. And a lot of talk around as Richardson shoots towards goal and he just drifts it right across the face, and that's only just snuck in for a score.
Oh, not to worry. Summer holidays aren't far away. Build up for next year.
Pre-season.
All those new hopes that the pre-season brings. Here's Rice, decent sort of a shepherd behind play by Murphy. Brown. Murphy gets it. He followed up after bowling over Marnie. Murphy again. Hines up to the 50. The mark taken by Burns. Quite grey and overcast here at the MCG, but we've escaped rain so far. Don't know how long that'll last. Bradley overruns it. He's going to get it back. Here's Franchina, the tagger, setting up the play for the Blues. Ronnie Giulio goes short, and Alan the ruckman marks, plays on, into the goal square. Great stuff, Ratner goal.
I don't know. You don't know? I don't know!
The practice at the new time, Tuesday, 9:30.
12-14 plays 4-10. Carlton continue this wonderful finish to the season. They can finish as high as 10th, you would have thought. Say after round 8 or 9, that would have been an impossibility.
So I don't think Carlton would be out of place up in the final 8. I think their form right now, they're not a bad team.
No, you're right. Aussie takes the mark from behind. Plays on quickly, going to Watson on the outer side. Just a couple of minutes left in this third term. Again, it's a quarter that has been controlled by Carlton. They've outscored the Maggies. We've got a chance here. Young Gardner is there. Came in today for Russell. Brown appeared to be held. Franchina finds McKay. Floats one over the top once again to Beaumont. Cannot keep it in play, or can he? Yes, in fact, it'll suit him because he can swing round onto the left foot and kick up towards centre wing. Collingwood have the numbers. 3 or 4 of them there. Ratton tried to farm it out. King showed aggression. Across to Francis, then to Watson. The high ball back in towards the centre. Difficult one to grab. Allen went high, couldn't take the mark. Pushed in towards half forward. Marnie leads Rice in the race. Good control though by Dean Rice. Snared it beautifully with the one hand. Kicks it back towards half forward, but only as far as Osborne.
They've got to turn the lights on here soon. It's very dark. Francisco forward of the wing. To the 50. Brown might have been held. No whistle. And the ball's out of bounds in the forward pocket. Gavin Brown would only give the umpire a look. You never get any words from Brown.
No, Brown is one of many gentlemen playing the game, Drew. If he says something, it's probably well and truly warranted.
Chance for Collingwood. Manton takes clean possession. Centre of the ground. Oh, gee. Carlton have had the midfielders all over the place, and Ratton just another one of them. Awkward for Whitnell, but great hands by the youngster. Whitnell across the half-forward line. Allen again set up the last goal.
Oh, look at this.
DiIulio. Who wants to score this one? Over the head of Brown. Well, his hand pass is blocked. A bit leery, Carlton, they've lost it. Francisco. Maybe the Pies will answer with a goal. Long kick by Gavin Francisco. One out on the goal square. And it... Oh, yes, it is a goal. Richardson.
I'm with you, my love.
It's been happening there, wasn't there?
Richardson gets his second for the quarter. Carlton paying the price for perhaps overuse of the ball and maybe a little Lairising. Right, out of the middle, down towards half forward once again. Sexton, Crow, the latter trying to work it forward. Does well, gives it off to young Gardner, but he loses it out to Murphy. Carlton challenge again. Bradley is there, so too is Brown. Back to Murphy. Over the middle he goes, up towards left half forward. Hines leads in the race for the ball. But the siren beats him. So at three-quarter time, as darkness settles over the MCG, the lights will go on pretty soon, I would imagine.
Yes, and it'll be a dark atmosphere in the Collingwood huddle because they're continuing to work fairly hard, but really it just looks like the efficiency of the Carlton midfield, Bradley, Ratton, Brown, Murphy, they're just using the ball too well, always there to support. I mean, if the first hand pass doesn't reach a teammate who is free and clear, there's always someone else pushing over to help.
8 goals scored in that quarter, 3 to Collingwood and 5 to Carlton.
Those you mentioned, Ratton, Brown, Bradley, Murphy, they just rotate them in the middle. Plus a ruckman, there can only be 3 of those in. So.
There's a whole group of them, but they're the main ones.
35 points the margin at half-time. 46 points at three-quarter time, favouring the Blues.
7 news updates brought to you by National Mutual.
Good afternoon. Police are appealing for witnesses to a shocking death on the Hume Highway south of Campbelltown. A truck driver was struck by a lump of concrete thrown from an overpass.
Effective and reliable fly strike protection around. So whether you rely on Vetrazin liquid or choose Vetrazin spray-on, you know you'll be getting protection you can count on. That's what's in every container of Vetrazin.
Ferns continues to offer the daily service to Sydney using the latest in comfort and safety. Their modern coaches get you there in style. The daily express service now leaves from the William Farrer Hotel at 7 a.m. Ferns, part of Wagga for over 80 years.
Welcome back to the MCG. The lights are on, and as far as Carlton are concerned, there are plenty at home. 12-14-86, 46-point leaders over a disappointing Collingwood. They are 5-10-40. Other matches being played today, well, one's over in the west and one is at Waverley. If you don't want to know the scores of these two matches with replays coming up, then look away now because here they come. Firstly, over to the west. So that brings us up to date with scores around the country. Now let's join Russell Morris with Barry Richardson. Russell.
Well, Bones, what were the most pleasing aspects of that quarter for Carlton?
I would have thought the form of Franchina down the back, actually, who's actually becoming a player now who's not only tagging but getting a fair bit of the footy himself, and also the fact that we rotated forwards around like White and Hamill, and certainly the form of Whitnell up forward. Wasn't a bad quarter for us. I think we kicked 5 to their 3.
Yeah.
And reality be should probably be a bit further ahead, I would have thought.
The situation for Carlton now, is it going to be an opportunity to experiment with a lot of young kids?
Well, I think we've probably done that most of the year, actually, I would say. Russell, we've played a lot of those young players, like sort of younger players like White and Beaumont and Franchina and Massey. Hines you'll see coming onto the ground now. So we've basically tried to feed those sort of players in during the year, but also make sure we haven't fed them in too quickly. And Massey is a good example of a 17-year-old kid who's learnt the game, I think, and he's really given a good account of himself most times he's been on the field. So, look, the latter part of the season for us after what was obviously a pretty tough start has been pleasing, I think, and we shouldn't get too carried away with all that. But we're playing not bad footy today.
Well, really, if Carlton were in the 8, I'm sure you would have been able to hold your hand up high the way the 8 has been structured at the moment. So that's another pleasing aspect, isn't it?
Well, I think so, yes. I think that we won something like 6 or 7 out of the last 11 games, and that sort of means that we're coming into the finals. If that was the case, certainly we'll be able to give some sort of an account of ourselves.
Thanks very much, Barry.
Pleasure, Russell.
Barry Richardson speaking there with Russell Morris, and a disappointed Steve Silvani losing the ball. Deemed a push, so the free kick goes the way of Michael after Carlton made the first forward thrust of this final term. Light rain is falling, and it probably does threaten to get a little heavier. That's not going to help the Collingwood cause at all. But King goes through the middle. Floats one up in towards half forward. Richardson is there. Tarrant is there. Burns is there. He goes high. He goes wide. And it is out of bounds on the fall.
Interesting interchange there. Gavin Francisco came off the ground. There he is on the bench, and he was replaced by Patterson. And the last thing Francisco did in this game was kick the ball an absolute mile and set up a goal.
Been a pretty reasonable player, would have thought, by Collingwood standards today.
Allen, a big flyer. McKay waiting down. White had it spent maybe a little too early, but we'll get the chance to go again.
Up towards centre wing. Whitnell virtually pushed Shorble into it. Watson, right, Brown. Gavin Brown back to Watson. Through the middle of the pies. Long kick inside half forward. Oh, they tripped up Richardson, bowled over well before the ball arrived. Free kick right in front to Richardson.
Well, they both went to ground, John. I don't know whether the bowled over is the right word. I've got a feeling they both just tripped each other up.
Yeah, if both players tripped, well, yeah, it certainly looked as though it was 6-1, half a dozen the other. So square ball and call play on, I would think, but obviously the umpire felt that Richardson was tripped in that or pushed and free kick awarded.
If the player's in front, is it almost an automatic assumption in some ways that he must be the one who was the victim?
Well, I wouldn't think so, as Richardson misses again, I think, to the left. He hasn't, has he? Yes, he has. Look, I don't think that would be a fair assumption if any of the umpires do that, Lee, because especially in that instance where both players actually end up going to the ground anyway.
Yeah.
Carlton bring the ball back in. Actually, we might have an interesting situation here in the last quarter. It's just started to rain lightly, and they brought in a new rule at the MCG where you're quite welcome to bring an umbrella in. You can't put it up.
It's just to hit the umpires.
You can't put the umbrella up. Now, if anything starts to rain and people aren't allowed to put the umbrella up, I want to see them thrown out for keeping dry.
It's a good, Drew, it's a real good rule too.
Yeah, that's Russell on the boundary.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy.
Here we go with Buckley. Let's see what happens here as he lets one go from 55 metres. He too is away to the right. Well, it's a rule that works pretty well in Adelaide.
No, the umbrellas are used to smack people over the head with. That's what it's all about.
In Adelaide. That's Nathan Buckley. 4 behinds today.
Sexton. Going to the outer side. That's okay. Finds Franchina. He too sends a floater down to Whitnell. So hard to comprehend that young man is still a teenager. Michael goes for the roundhouse right. Now that could prove costly. In fact, it's a free kick going the way of Carlton.
Now again, Sandy, this is the one where the umpire's trying to figure out what the prime objective of the spoiler is. Is the prime objective to spoil the ball, or is the prime objective to actually make contact with the player? And no idea. The free kick was obviously paid for a high tackle. That was the signal given.
The right arm across the shoulder was probably the call, was it, John?
Yeah. Having a day like Camporelli, he's just going to get the free kicks, don't you? Kick goals.
I reckon you might back him at this point. What do you think?
22 possessions to date, kicking from 38 metres. Goal umpire does not move, and Lee is headed to the pickup counter.
Yes, it's an amazing thing about goal kicking. Once you've kicked 2 or 3, the 4th or 5th become a fair bit easy.
Collingwood has kicked 2. Allen wobbles one inside the 50. Shawble can't take the mark. Plays on and goes for the boundary line. And someone in the crowd had to put their umbrella down momentarily to grab the ball. Lights on for the last quarter here at the MCG. A 50-point lead to Carlton, who'll take their streak to 5 wins in 8 games. Ratton missed the roving, but comes to Camporelli again. Massey, good kick to the top of the square. Michael, it comes to Fraser Brown. Silvani, applying the tackle very strongly, Stephen Silvani. Cleared by Crow, but right in front, 35 metres out. It's still 30 metres out. Allen's kick went nowhere. White wouldn't have been paid a mark. Comes to Fraser Brown. Whitnell. They're losing ground in possession. Bradley outside 50. Across the 50 he goes. Matty Allen lines them up and kicks it into the crowd. Good heavens.
He saw the goals, didn't he? He thought I'll steady and I'll balance, but... leave the ruckman to do the tap-outs, eh?
Speaking of Lee Matthews, Gavin Brown will bring it back into play for the Maggies. Allen, the effective spoiler. King takes it from Francis. And there's a big punch away. Frank Chena.
There was an idiom going around in Australia a while ago. Your mate Mickey Gaffer.
Yeah.
If a bloke was a pest, he was called a Mick Gaffer. I reckon this fella might be the new Mick Gaffer.
Yes, I think you're probably right there, Drew.
I think Drew could have a few more of those as the quarter unfolds. We'll let him work on that. And we'll have a free kick going the way of Brown, who's at the bottom of that pack. Plays on straight away. Camporelli takes the hand pass, kicks into half forward, and Ratton takes the mark directly in front.
Well, he's got 29 possessions, Brown. I'm sure you'll get the extra 1 or 2 to get over the 30, so 6 consecutive games of 30-plus possessions. There's no midfielder in better form at the moment in the whole competition than Fraser Brown.
Here's Ratton from 40 metres. Straight through the middle. There's another one.
Brown.
He's looked like he's had the hobbles a bit, Silvani. He's looked a little bit sore for much of the game.
I reckon when he's in peak condition, he looks as though he's got the hobbles.
That's true.
Francis. Tarrant, the knee heavily bandaged. It was going to be a free kick. Advantage to Buckley, and it's coming back.
Signal was given for high tackles, so free kick will come back.
So Tarrant does appear to have a decent limp up. Will take the free back in the 50. And there's Stephen Silvani. Michael Sexton, that's not a bad pair on the bench. All Australians, both of them.
All Australian centre-half back and full-back for most of the last couple of years.
To the edge of the goal square. It's in the goal square. And rushed through from behind by Manton. And you lead by 56 and you still do the discipline thing.
Well, I've got a feeling it's just as nice to be watching it on television just at the moment, Drew, because sitting in the rain would not be much fun as this game draws to its conclusion in the final term. And again, Carlton have been able to release the player from the kick-ins by just pulling him right out of that part of the ground. And they kicked the goal for him by the length of the field earlier in the game.
Michael did well.
And might again.
White gets the chance. Back he goes to Whitnell. Centering kick by Lance Whitnell of Jim. And Hines takes the mark.
Yes, gee, they've worked those kick-ins out well today, Carlton. Just pulling that guy back to the wing, and having got the first or second possession, they've got a player right clear of the zone, and they've done that well.
Directly in front, 40 metres out. And they're sailing home now, the Navy Blues. Hines gets his first. Spent a lot of time on the bench.
Yeah, they're sailing home, but you wouldn't even be able to sing the song with much gusto, would you?
No, well, it's been a good patch. As you mentioned before, Sandy, they wouldn't be out of place in the final eight, Carlton, despite their lowly position on the ladder, but they've got their team together as this season has continued on. And certainly they won the game early on. 60,000 people, the attendants, have seen it. But they're getting better and Collingwood are getting worse.
60,741. Brown gets to 30. Bradley. And Craig Bradley torps one. Inside 50. A juggle. Whitnell can't take the mark. Gavin Brown dives over it. Whitnell there again to feed the ball out. Fraser Brown. Another touch. Brown's everywhere. Francis to Patterson. Oh, he's had a shocker. Stephen Patterson. He actually kicked it out of mid-air when he had the fumble. Oh, Rice. That might be on Talking Footy on Monday night.
Yes, when there's a bit of rain around and the centre pitch is fairly hard, it gets very treacherous because it just gets that little bit soft on top.
Oh, soft on top. Here's Camporelli. He's been the best forward on the ground. This is number 5.
Every now and again you have a day out. Scott Camporelli's having one of those. He's booted 5 goals for the day, a minimum of 1 in every term. In a sensational effort. Allen's hand pass goes straight to Francis. A bleak old day for the Maggies as Richard Osborne, drawing to the end of his career, floats one down towards Burns. He couldn't take the mark cleanly. Koutafidis gives it off to Hines. He means business as he kicks it back towards the half-back flank area. Scotty Crowe sandwiched. Francis shrugs the tackle. They're just going through the motions now as Osborne finds Crowe just outside 50. Wants to play on and does. A chance now for them to score a much-needed goal. Been a long time between drinks, but maybe the Carlton defence will have something to say about that. This is Beaumont. Does a 360. It swings back towards Massey. Brown comes over the top. No one paying him close attention, so he sets sail for home. A high kick in towards full forward. And kept in play and snapped through finally for a goal. Yes to Scotty Burns.
They worked hard for that one, Collingwood. Certainly a lot of ball handling errors in this last 5 minutes of play. We've got a pretty slippery ball happening here.
Now we're back in the middle. You haven't put up an umbrella, have you, Russell?
He's left.
I think he's gone. Beating the traffic.
Sorry, Drew, I'm in the pool somewhere. I'm having a swim.
You need the hot tub today.
The snorkeler.
I'm having a swim, Sandy.
Here's Whitnell. Feeds it off to Murphy. Where's Campo? Into Ratton. Whitnell. Kick it yourself. That's your job. And he does. Two for Lance Whitnell.
He's had a little bit of a wasteful game. Whitnell kicked 1 goal, 2 goals, 4 now. Certainly had plenty of the ball. He's worked hard against Shawbull. The 22 possessions and 9 marks from centre half forward, they're almost carry-type stats. Just hasn't quite finished with the same efficiency, but he just feinted the handball, came back inside onto the dominant foot and slotted it through.
11 players have now kicked goals for Carlton. Camporelli leading the way with 5. Koutafidis couldn't quite get the hand pass away. Buckley floats it in towards full forward. Carlton defence is asked to work again as it comes back to Buckley. Tumbles it down into the left forward pocket, and it's just going to be kept in play. No. The boundary umpire thought about it. Jamie Tate tried the con. It didn't work.
Yes, the goal umpire had a good look at it and helped out the boundary umpire with the decision.
That's right, Lee. Maybe now's an appropriate time to say that the analysis being done by Pineapple Head during the 3rd quarter disclosed that Andrew McKay did 1,992 metres, Murphy 3-2-1-4, and the boundary umpire on this side 5,128.
And Tony Francis has finally done something for Collingwood in front of goal. He's booted it.
Yes,
Tony gets his first. Sorry, Lee.
I was going to say to John, they are interesting numbers, those. I guess we see boundary umpires charging up the boundary line up.
Fraser Brown sitting on the bench for Carlton for the last 10 minutes of the game, but he got to his 30, Lee, so he's reached it once again.
You couldn't be happy with Fraser Brown. I don't know whether he's off for any particular reason, but I mean, when you're having a day out like he is, you'd like to be out there for the last 10 minutes. That's what you'd like to be.
Yeah, well, there might be a few more easy ones in the last 10 minutes. But, what a day he's had. Burns. Tarrant. Francis. Didn't see the tackler coming. Murphy's got him. Ball and all. You're holding it. Tony Francis' best days well behind him. Murphy comes out wide to the man who just came on to replace Brown. Diulio. Kick by Ronnie in the direction of Allen. Punch to the front. White clears the pack. Franchina the pest. Grattan to White. Back to Hamill. Kick by Aaron Hamill to the 50. Norris Hines. Michael. Cross he goes. And Tape's hand pass. Gavin Brown to the centre circle. Just couldn't mark overhead Scotty Burns. He's lost it. Murphy has been one of those rotating midfielders and had a heap of it for Carlton. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. That pineapple head has been tracking the midfielders, the boundary umpires. It must be giddy.
I'm just trying to work out why you keep calling Lee Matthews pineapple head.
You're a brave man, Fly. Either that or very foolish.
No, he's not. He's 200 metres away.
That's right. He wouldn't have said that when he was playing alongside you.
Sorry, Barney. That's all right, mate.
There's Ratton, Buckley. Still in the centre of this ball. The Fizz, unfortunately, well and truly gone out of the game. Murphy's hand pass has also gone astray. Tries to butter up for a second attempt. Schäuble comes in from the side. Francis comes over the top with King. And coming in for a bounce is umpire Mark McKenzie.
There he is.
See, the umbrella's
There
not
he is.
required. When you're dressed like Russell is there, he's resplendent in the blue and the matching yellow.
He's got grandeurs of being one of the ground staff.
Yes.
I know, I'm stopping the Seagulls from dropping Richard III's on me. That's what it's all about.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Here's White. Whitnell. They have a shot. And there's a Carlton boy down behind play.
Murphy.
It is. He's up though and appears to be okay. Lance Whitnell has booted 2 goals, one in the first and one a short time ago. He pushes that across the face of goal and it's belted through defensively for one behind. Murphy's going to leave the ground, so Chris Massey will come on.
They could finish with 17 men and you wouldn't know the difference.
117 plays 55. Drew.
Ozzy just came off for the Pies, so he looks as though he'll finish his second last game on the bench. King, the water boy, up short of half forward. From interference, no whistle on the play. Comes to Burns. Tried to tap it on. Tarrant. Beaumont. Burns in a hurry. Just straight at the football stuff. That's great by Cooter. Bradley, brilliant. In the path of his teammate. Diulio back to Koutafidis, who followed up. Showtime for the Blues. Koutafidis goes wide, but there's nobody out there.
Kicking the space then.
I think he saw a woman in a Carlton scarf out there, and he kicked for that. And that'll be a throw.
He skated through. He came around on his left there, Koutafidis, but who the hell he was kicking it to, I'm not sure.
Ratton to Hamill, short little chip for Whitnell.
They seem to have been scoring much better from this side of the ground, so it's been holding up to this right of camera end. So this will be a big kick by Whitnell to hold its line with the Blues swirling round quite a bit today.
This for his third from 55 metres. It's a good kick. I think it might have gone through for one behind. Yep. Carlton Lee certainly look forward to next year with great optimism, as Fraser says, get me back on, I'll pick up a few more possessions.
Yes, no, I think they would. But I mean, I just say there's been a lot of talk about where the improvements come from for Carlton the second half of the year, but I do think in the main it's come from their experienced nucleus. Certainly Whitnell's been terrific, and there's a few other young players that have been okay, but it's the Brown, Bradley, Ratton, Allen of Ruck has been okay, I guess. So, but certainly they're still a pretty competent team.
Yeah, no signs of them at the moment of missing Diesel Williams, what?
No doubt about that, they're missing him. But with him, they may well be still right up there, I suspect, he and Kernahan.
Buckley kicks to half forward. There's been a whistle.
Yeah. But Craig Bradley has a look at Michael Tuck about him in the respect of Tucky, of course, played till he was almost 38 years of age. Well, Craig Bradley, I think, is 34, almost 35. He shows no signs at all of ageing, so you'd think there's plenty of footy left in Craig Bradley.
Just a fitness freak, isn't he?
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
Just a wonderful athlete, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sheffield Shield cricketer as well as league footballer, and he's not like us, he doesn't do things that destroy your health.
5.5 minutes remaining in this match. Carlton will probably be happy for it to go on, and Collingwood will be looking forward to hearing that final siren. The diving Hamill is on the outer side of the MCG. A crowd today, we've just tuned in, of 60,741. Many were hoping to see a much tighter contest than this, but it wasn't to be. Michael went up very, very early. Would have almost given away a free kick. Watson's caught. He loses it. Played for the free kick to Shane, but it didn't come his way. And finally, Patterson pushes wide.
There were 60,000 here, but there's probably about 30 now.
Yeah, I think they've gone home a few of them once the rain came through. I think with that, but not being able to put the umbrella up, they naturally went home.
Lee.
Things to do at home. King went up in ruck. That was an interesting picture. Seagulls are circling. It's almost as though the vultures are just circling around Collingwood's carcass here. There's an eerie feel about the MCG at the moment. Game well and truly decided a long time ago. Francis.
Drew, it's a bit of Alfred Hitchcock about it, actually.
Yeah. Graham Wright. Have 5 bounces and kick a goal righty. Game 200. Good chase by young Massey. Inside the 50. Sam Rocker got up high. Don't know that he's had a touch in the second half. Richardson offline and out of bounds on the full.
Yes, you wouldn't have known that Sam was out on the ground, would you? He started in the ruck and got a couple of possessions early, but it's been a barren last 3 quarters. He certainly was injured there for a while and came off the field, but certainly in his time on the field hasn't...
That palm print, as you can see, David Parkin giving a good old belt during the game. Ratton, in the meantime, is off the ground, and Murphy is back on for the Blues. So they're the sort of things, Lee, you can look forward to. Should you decide to join the other goals north?
What happened then?
Buckley, surely. Into half forward, Murphy. Just back out on the ground. But they're just counting it down now. He comes out to Hines, who looks towards centre wing, and White. Right there with King. White gets the kick away. Massey tries to trap it and tunnel ball it out the back. He's not successful because Shane Watson came over the top and forced a throw. Brown got the call out the back, but maybe it came from Murphy. Always dangerous, that. He kicks into the pocket, and Michael takes it over the line.
Yes, that's allowed. You can't have the umbrella, but you can do that. Chance for Tony Francis to clear. Oh, he's hit the runner. Get out of the way. Marnie kept it in well. And Francis goes back to make up for kicking the ball into the runner. Gardner in his first game, back to Marnie. Burns. Well, he took the arms, Franchina, the pest, and he's given away the free kick. Well, two famous great old clubs, Carlton and Collingwood. The Blues will miss the finals for the second year in a row, the Pies for the fourth year in a row, and they haven't played against each other in finals since 1988. So since the advent of a national competition, boy, challenges from other well-stocked clubs come thick and fast. Tarrant, 40 metres out to the goal square. Sav! So he couldn't stretch the hammies for that and has gone through from behind.
No, he's certainly not got much explosiveness in his play, Sav Rocco. He's a bit sore, I think, as we mentioned earlier. And Tony Shaw, fairly resigned look, I think. Pretty happy for the final siren to come any time now.
2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. Then you can go and start up the lawnmower.
You'd be mad in this weather. You're full.
People are watching us in northern New South Wales and Queensland.
Kicks to King. So there's obviously been a new invention, the underwater lawnmower, patented by AK Morford and Company. Here's Francis, 55 metres out. He needs a lawnmower or something. Gets it to Crow. Off to Marnie, 50 metres out. Set sail for home. It's coming back. Going to be close in the square. And Glenn Manton takes it on the very last line of defence.
Won't be allowed to do that, Sandy. We've mentioned this a few times. If the defender goes behind the score line or the goal line or the extension of the goal line to take his kick, then the mark will be advanced 5 metres and the defender has to bring the ball into play over his head. So tried to go the other way that time and not permitted to do so.
So back he goes. Good interception by Crow. Will send Collingwood forward again. Inside the last minute now, big pack of players up forward. Sav has finally come forward and put up his hand.
Bronx cheers. They're giving him a cook.
Yes, it certainly hasn't been. This will be his first goal, his fifth kick, third mark. It certainly has not been a vintage day.
For his first.
Carlton just absolutely demolished them in this last 10 minutes.
Well, the Blues kicked 5 goals to 3 in the third quarter, and they've repeated the dose in the final quarter. Graham Wright, one of the last kicks of the game in his 200th. Tarrant goes wide. The Pies might finish with the last 2 goals. 10 seconds left. Jamie Tate. A good 45 metres from goal. Breeze will probably get to this kick at that end, and it might help it sail over the line after the siren. Carlton have beaten their traditional foe. They've won every quarter, and Jamie Tate can narrow the margin after the siren. 20-yard height, but offline. An anti-climax to an anticlimactic sort of a game at the MCG, as these two teams will finish their season next week. No finals action for either, but the Blues successful today.
Final scoreline: Carlton 17-16, 118. Collingwood 8-15, 63. 8 scorers on the ground today. Well, Scott Camporelli had a field day. Kicked 1 in the first term, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the final. He finished with 5. Brett Ratton booted 2. Lance Whitnell kicked 2. They were the multiple scorers for the Navy Blues. And they had a number of players with singles, whilst for Collingwood, a very, very different story. Just one multiple goal kicker, and that was Mark Richardson. He booted 2, and Tony Shaw just now think about the last home and away game, and, well, hopefully for him, next season at Victoria Park.
I think what he's thinking right at the moment, Sandy, is what do I say when you dress as a troops in a couple of minutes' time? What kind of emotions do you try to convey?
Wonderful little shot there a moment ago. Two veterans, Peter Dean and Richard Osborne, shaking hands. They'll finish their league careers next week.
And the young guns coming forward, led by Lance Whitnell, you can see there, with Scott Camberelli. Big win today, the Navy Blues. They're happy here at the MCG.
Score here at the MCG, comprehensive victory to the Carlton Football Club, set up in the first half, 17-16, 118. Collingwood, 8-15, 63. The Blue Baggers will be pretty happy. What's next? Yes, great performance by Carlton. An emotional time too for Peter Dean in game number 247. He was cheered from the ground. Other matches, of course, played today. One was out at Waverley, and that featured Hawthorn and Geelong. First up, some highlights from that clash.
Like Zach Crawford, up to the half-forward line. Out comes Nick Holland, playing in front of Colbert. Non-stop action by the Hawks. Lloyd back to centre-half forward. Dixon's got it. Impressive young player. And this to put the Hawks in front. Any score. He hammers it home.
Has to play on. He needs to be quick. He's run down. He taps it on. Cromwell over the top. Lord. Lord. Lord, oh Lord.
Feeds the ball off. Tony Woods outside of 50. Plenty of carry on the ball. Here comes Check. Couldn't take it. Going to ground. Kicked off the ground. Great play. Check.
Ball jarred free. Picked up by Lecker. So a terrible kick straight into the arms of Milburn. Milburn at right half forward. That wasn't a great kick either. Lynch in his 50th. Should be a mark to Riccardi. Virtually right behind the kick in the forward pocket. Runs out a little bit to improve the angle. Looks pretty good, and he's got it. Never in doubt, Peter Riccardi, well played. Burns has got it at midfield. Mungrel punt off the boot. This will be an easy goal. The Cats are still in this game.
Yeah, some of the highlights from Waverley now. Some will you be taking a replay of highlights of that game a little bit later on. You may not want to know the score, so if you don't, look away now. And the other game played today to take round 21 a step further to completion was over in the West, and that was between the Fremantle Dockers and Port Power. Some highlights from that game.
Callahan thumps it. Lyle's in the road. Kingsley under pressure. Hoisted high. They'll compete about 15 metres out. Treadray kept his footing. In fact, all the Port players did. Open goal for Dew. Flicks it back eventually. Wilson taken by Kingsley. Kingsley down towards half forward. Lockwood decides to let it bounce and did brilliantly. Got it to Burgoyne. Burgoyne runs to 55. Long down towards full forward. It's bending back. It's a goal.
Burton takes it out of the ruck. Dangerously close to the Port goal. And here they work it away. Bode conceding some ground. Back towards James under a heap of pressure. Gets the kick towards the square. Contest forms. Carroll has a go at it. There's a shepherding free kick. Advantage is paid. Goal to Port Adelaide. Humphries first towards half forward. Carroll again does the spoiling. Govern at ground level, can't get it. Dickey slips it on out to Rogers. To James, goes towards the top of the square. Contest here. Treadray getting back there. Does the shepherding work for Heaver. The specialist at ground level picks up his first goal.
So once again, the same situation applies. If you don't want to know the score from out west, look away because here it comes. That brings us up to date with football happenings at the moment around the country. A break and then we'll return to the MCG.
Sale starts Monday. It's crazy. Whoa, yeah! Yes, it's another Sprite mega scam, and it's mega easy to scam free Sprite instantly. Scam other mega cool stuff too. So look under the cap when you next obey your thirst.
New Cadbury Fuse fills you up. Fuse's masses of delicious Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate, fused with peanuts, sultanas, Rice Crisps and fudge, and even more Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. So fill up with Fuse from Cadbury.
Nixon's Engineering Wagga, the Riverina's road transport engineering specialists. Full service of tail shaft repairs and balancing. Trailer axle and suspension work by professionally trained staff. All this backed by a fully equipped parts division with a complete range of parts for the road transport operator. Minimise your downtime by dealing with the professionals at Nixon's Engineering, Sturt Highway, Wagga Wagga.
John, it's Wayne. You've got to get down the clock. They're giving away 2 new cars.
Hi Becky, it's Kerry. They've got this competition at the club and you could win one of 2 Nissan Pulsars. Hi Rebecca, it's Kerry again. Guess what? We just won!
John, it's Wayne again. Get on your horse and get down here, would you?
Welcome to Hudson Timber and Hardware, the first place to go for all your building needs. Whether you're in the building trade, renovating or completing a project around the home, Hudson Timber and Hardware can help you. Hudson stock a full range of structural, landscaping and decorative timber, plus building hardware, tools, paints and doors. And with a frame and truss manufacturing facility, Hudson's also supply quality computer design frames and trusses. So for your next building project, see Hudson Timber and Hardware, 20 Chaston Street, Wagga Wagga.
Crazy Jim's huge Father's Day sale is on this weekend. Make your dad smile on Father's Day. You'll smile too when you see their prices, like this budget-wise 18-litre garden hose, only $8.50. A handy 4 cubic foot garden wheelbarrow, just $49.95. Or Ryobi petrol trimmers from only $169. With working demonstrations on all the big brands, including DeWalt, Triton and Yates. There'll be a sausage sizzle, fairy floss, lucky door prizes and giveaways. Crazy Jim's Father's Day sale is going to be huge. See you there.
Rosebank, your central Wagga retirement village is rapidly nearing completion. Stage 1 of 14 units are selling quickly. Rosebank has an emphasis on a peaceful lifestyle for your retirement years. A choice of 1 and 2 bedroom units are available with prices starting from $99,500. All units are complete with carpets, blinds, heating and air conditioning. Rosebank, your central Wagga retirement option. Thomas Street, Wagga Wagga.
The eventual margin here at the MCG, 55 points to the Blues, 17-16 to the Pies, 8-15-63.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. Victoria Bitter for a hard-earned thirst. Cadbury Mark of the Year, McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with Cheese, and Mitsubishi Motors, the award-winning Magna.
Still one game remaining in round 21 and we won't put the results of the others up. So here's the ladder as it stands at the moment. North regaining top spot by beating the Crows last night. The Bulldogs there as well, just down on percentage. Sydney St Kilda making up the top 4 and still out is Melbourne, of course, have to play Sydney tomorrow night. Let's look ahead though to round 22 because a couple of things are there going to be decided. On Friday night it's the battle for top spot, North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. 4 games on the Saturday, Geelong and Essendon. Hawthorn plays Fremantle. West Coast plays Adelaide. The Brisbane Lions play St Kilda. 3 games on Sunday. Well, it could all come down for Melbourne and Richmond fans to this game. Who is going to make it? Sydney plays Collingwood and Port Adelaide plays Carlton. Some big games there. I hope you can join us on 7 next week. We say farewell. So too does Peter Dean.
This has been a 7 Sports production.
This program proudly brought to you by your team Nissan dealer.
7 news updates brought to you by National Mutual.
Good afternoon. Police believe that thrill-seeking teenagers may be responsible for the shocking death of a truck driver hit by a lump of concrete thrown from an overpass on the Hume Highway in outer Sydney. Police charge a man over a dramatic knife-point siege in a Sydney city coffee shop. And the father of Princess Diana's boyfriend blames her bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, for that fatal crash. Details, 7 News at 6 o'clock.